Yo, what is up, pussies? We are back with another episode of MogCast, episode number 8. I think it is, right? Yes, number 8. We just posted number 7 yesterday. Guys, we are here with the very special Remington James.
What is going on, guys?
And Remington and I, we actually got together when it was like October, and you had done a video, and you were like, you used me in the thumbnail, right? And you said,
yeah, so,
angry rant, but really you weren't mad at me at all.
Well, I wasn't mad at you. I had an angry rant. Dude, okay, so basically what I did in that video, you know how clickbait works?
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Of course.
We know a thing or two.
Yeah. So it was like, I went through and there were people that like reviewing my recipes and like making them, and you were one of them. You did the Oreo McFlurry.
Yeah, I was making a bunch of them.
Which, that was kind of like, you have way more clout now than you had then.
Yeah, dude, at that time I probably had like 30K.
30, 40.
But you were on the come up. Mm-hmm. So it was like, I was looking through these people. I was like, I have this idea. It was, I was actually working with, Kenny edited that video. Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I was working with Kenny. He was editing some videos. And it was like, I went through, had some people do some recipes.
Shout out Kenny.
Yeah, shout out Kenny. By the way, before we even get into this, I don't know how he stands there that whole time. That's
Kenny behind the camera.
I don't know how he does it.
You,
he's getting a tip. So, but yeah, there was a bunch of people that did it, and it was really cool, and like everybody loved him and shit. But then one guy had the audacity to make a recipe and then like didn't have certain ingredients. And he's like, oh, well, I'll just throw this in and this in.
And then he just totally fucked it up or something?
Yeah, and then he reviewed it bad. So that was the angry rant. I don't know if you watched it to the end.
Yeah, but then you, I did watch it, and then because I went to the comments, people were like, "Yo, you didn't even like talk shit about sushi," because you said pretty much like you honestly were really nice in the video. You were like, "Yo, this guy's like going places," and honestly, you were right.
Well, dude, it was like,
do you want to turn my headphone volume up a little bit?
Headphone volume.
Yeah, it's a little hard for me to hear.
Wait, is it louder now?
Yeah, that's good.
That's good. That's max volume.
Well, no, turn it down a little bit.
Is that better?
Yeah, that's good.
Okay.
But sorry, what were you saying? We were talking about YouTube video.
But you had more clout than anybody else that made videos. Everybody else had like 2,000 or 3,000 subs.
Right.
You had like at the time maybe 50K,
I think
30K.
In October, I probably had 40K.
Okay, yeah. So you had the most clout. So it was like make it seem like I'm mad at Sush. That's
why
I bring a lot of people there.
Yeah, fuck Sush in the title.
But dude,
and then he's actually a really nice guy.
But you know that thing when you like the dude that ripped me off. I watched his videos. You know you get certain vibes from people. You like check their shit out. You're like, this dude's fake.
Yeah, of course.
Dude's a cuck.
Oh, yeah.
Dude, he ended up like...
We know too many of
Oh,
those.
yeah. So he ended up like doing a few more videos, blatantly copying my shit. And then he made like a 4th video like a few months back about how he has anxiety and depression and he quit YouTube. So I'm like, well, you know?
I remember I did whatever recipe I did, it was your recipe, but I switched it up and I was like, okay, I'm not going to put you in the description. And somebody was like, yo, you should really tag Remington. And then from whenever I did you start using your recipes, I started tagging you more, and that was honestly a good move because then you were able to like see that shit and do a video on it and stuff like that.
If you guys are watching, check out Remington's Cookbook, because I remember we came over and we did a little you had me taste test some like like ice creams or something.
Ice cream. Yeah, him and I did a
and I was blown away. They were both amazing.
That video, so Kenny edited that video for me. That video is so underrated on my channel. The collab we did.
Bro, mine too. Yeah. Bro, mine got limited.
His got limited.
And I think it was because you made the joke about, can I say it? Well, yeah, can we say it?
I don't think we can say it.
What was the joke about?
You made a joke about he was wearing the blindfold and you were like, oh, that's anabolic cum.
Yeah, and I guess they don't like sexually vulgar words,
because I watched the whole video twice and I was like, what would have gotten this limited ads? And I think it was just because that little joke right there. And so what happens when it gets limited is the reach gets limited, the algorithm doesn't like push it out. And it was such a good video. My mom loved it.
Mine got limited too, because that was like one of Kenny's, I think that was Kenny's first or second time he did a video for me, and he just like picked a cool song and the song got
and that got limited.
Well, actually, I don't think it was limited. I think it was. I just didn't make any money off of it.
Oh, it was copyrighted.
Yeah.
I don't think that limits reach.
Yeah, no, I don't think it does either.
I've used plenty of copyrighted songs, and my transformation video blew up. Well, it didn't blow up, but it got like 300 something K views, and I knew going into it, I'm using whatever songs I want. Right. I don't want to choose some shitty NCS songs.
Dude, the goal in life is to get so rich that you just use whatever music you want, and you just don't give a fuck about taking the loss.
Zero ads. Like putting 0 ads in your video would be just awesome.
Well, it's funny because that's how I used to be. Because I used to think, oh, I wouldn't make that much off of YouTube anyway, so I might as well use whatever music I want, and I don't care about whatever revenue I'll lose. But then once I started monetizing my videos, turns out I was actually missing out on a lot of money that back then I really could have used.
Right. Well, it's all relative. I remember, like, dude, when I first started YouTube, so that was 20
You've been in the game for a while.
I've been in the game a minute. Dude, I was in the game back in the day when they would pay you way more than they pay you now.
Oh, yeah.
YouTube money
Before
now.
but it was called the Adpocalypse or something?
Dude, I was alive and well for the Adpocalypse. Really? Yeah, I was right in the middle of that shit, dude. I remember like Christian Guzman came out when Adpocalypse hit, and he was talking, he's making like a quarter of what he was making, like off Adpocalypse.
Well, I know that David Dobrik, he made a video on it, and he was, I forget the exact amount he was making before, but he was making like millions of dollars per month. Obviously, he was getting like hundreds of millions of views per month. And then after the Adpocalypse, most advertisers didn't find his content suitable. So he ended up making, like, he took the biggest hit out of any YouTuber because all of a sudden no advertisers wanted to advertise their shit on his channels. Because I guess it was too vulgar or something like that.
Damn.
Yeah,
Millions
so
of dollars a month?
Yeah, down to like scraps.
Dude, I didn't even like ever watch a David Dobrik video until the most recent scandal.
Yeah.
And then I'm watching the blowback videos and shit.
Yeah, I never watched them for their entertainment value just because I preferred more like the authentic like Casey Neistat type vids. But I would watch David's vids just for tips.
Yeah, a
just
little
for, like,
inspiration.
Yeah, because like I can watch his videos and be like, holy shit, these are good videos in terms of like I can see why people watch these. It's just he probably records like 2 weeks of content and compresses it into 4.5 minutes of just the most highlight parts of his week, you know? So it's just so entertaining.
Well, that's the problem with vlogging sometimes, though. I used to be like a full-time vlogger until the pandemic hit, but it was like I mean, some days like your day isn't that eventful.
Oh,
No,
trust
yeah.
me, bro.
Like today, I picked up I was like, okay, I got to vlog because I'm going home to Georgia tomorrow. So I was like, I got to put out a video. Picked up my camera and I was like, yo, James, like, we're just making jokes and shit.
You just got to go.
Yeah.
You know what my trusty move is when I need a video?
Yeah.
Q&A time.
Yeah, Q&A
that is
is
true.
really
Actually,
good.
I should do a Q&A.
Yeah.
We haven't done a Q&A in a while.
Usually I do
but
Q&As whenever I get haircuts, and I do need a haircut.
I feel like, do
It's
you
just
do
like a
it
funny
during the
joke.
haircut?
No, but it's,
Oh,
that would
okay.
be cool. But it's
That
just
would
like
be
a funny
funny.
joke that I used to do. I was like back when I lived in Atlanta, I was like, yo, I got a haircut, so we're doing a Q&A. And like it kind of just stuck like that. So it's pretty funny.
Well, I feel like you guys both like, dude, you're Mog. Like you guys invented that word and like made
yeah,
it.
we didn't invent it.
But we definitely put it on.
Yeah, you put it on because it's like
someone commented, oh, Sush mogged him or something like that on one of his posts. And
Yeah.
Sush was like, that word's funny. And then we just started saying it. 'Cause
Yeah.
it's just like a funny
Whoever,
word.
if you're listening, whoever commented it, I think it was a photo of Noelle and I, and you were like, and
You mogged her.
Yeah, someone was like, yo, you mogged her. And I think he was probably like from over across the pond, like he was from UK or some shit. And he was like, you mogged her. And I was like, yo,
Across the pond.
this word is fucking funny.
Yeah.
Because it reminded me of like Moss, like Randy Moss, like Moss and somebody like playing football. So it was like, Mog, this is a dope word. And I started saying it. And
That
then,
person probably doesn't even realize that they
What they
literally
started.
yeah, dude, everybody,
A whole movement.
everybody says it now.
Influencers
like,
saying
yeah,
it
I'll
now,
go
like
on my
other-
explore page, bro, and I'm just looking at it, and it's like,
Yeah, mogged.
yeah,
Yeah, I mean, someone's gonna comment that I'm getting mogged right now.
yeah. No, I was looking at the camera. You can go back and see. I was looking at the camera because I was like, fuck, I really fucked them up on the angle.
Well, I'm getting mogged the most because I'm furthest
Yeah,
away.
you're pretty far away, and I was
Yeah.
like looking back, and I was like, damn, I really fucked them up.
That's
yeah,
all
you
right,
got
bro.
you got the best seat in the house.
Yo, let's talk about these Anabars right here. So if you
Yes.
guys don't know, Remington is with Final Boss Nation, him and Sam Akron, right?
Ryan Ankrum.
Or fuck, Ryan Akron. Sorry.
Damn.
It's all hey,
Wait, who am I thinking of? Sam.
murdered.
And
I don't know.
Yeah, but
So how'd you start, like, because these, when you brought them to us at the gym,
Right.
we noticed right away that these tasted different than normal protein bars, which
Yeah.
have like the classic kind of nasty
Right.
protein
Taffy.
texture. Yeah, like nasty taffy.
Right.
But these tasted like, it had more of like a candy bar texture.
Right.
And I mean, the flavor's obviously awesome, but I think the texture is what stands out the
Mm-hmm.
most because it feels like you're eating a candy bar. It feels good to eat.
100%.
It doesn't feel like this kind of chalky
Yeah.
shit. So you actually found a manufacturer that was just making health bars, basically, like whole food meal bars, right?
Yeah, like essentially. So what happens in the fitness industry that you don't realize is that like in the U.S. there's like 3 to 4 really massive manufacturers that are making all the supplements for all the companies.
For everyone.
For everyone.
Yeah.
So you're getting very similar protein bars.
Right.
You're getting, dude, you can buy a protein powder. Like let's say you buy like Muscle Farm and then you buy like Optimum Nutrition. Like so many of these big brands, it's the same
shit.
thing. It's the same thing with a different label.
bro,
Same thing with clothes, too.
I was gonna say Quest, and there's Quest, and then there's another one, maybe Fiber One. I don't know, but they're fucking protein bars. Like if you gave me a Quest
Identical?
bar, yeah. If you give me a Quest bar and one of those, I was like, I wouldn't know the difference. But like this is like so much different.
It just stands out.
It's like
Yeah.
literally a cookie.
Well, we had, so it was like in the hunt for a manufacturer, when you're dealing with these massive manufacturers, like for one, your minimum orders, like you're coming out of pocket so much and you need to you just buy so much inventory because they already have their client base. So it was like,
Right.
we're looking for manufacturers, and Ank had a supplement store back in Ohio. And like he had all these connections, and we had this like smaller manufacturer that did a lot of vegan style bars and like bars that were like completely natural. So they would be like, okay, 3 ingredients: we got peanut butter, we got honey, we got oats, stuff like that.
Right.
And to be honest, none of those brands really have taken off. So it was one of those things where, like, the bars were incredible, but it was like, all right, these are cool, but there's like a very small group of people that these are for, right? Like most people want. I mean, when I want a protein bar. And if I'm going to eat a protein bar and spend macros on one, I want to love it, for one.
Right, yeah.
But we basically told them, like, all right, so here's what we want to do. We love the flavor of your bars. We love what you have going on. How do we make these fun? How do we spice them up a little bit? Dude, and they just started like, they're like, all right, well, we're willing to work with you. They knew we were influencers and stuff. And they started sending us samples, man, and we're just...
So how did you even find this manufacturer?
Ank's supplement store actually sold a lot of their other brands. So we had a connection with them. So
Okay.
like, yeah, the brands that they were making sold out of Ank's store. So it's like when you own a supplement store, it's not so prevalent now. But when I first started YouTube, because social media wasn't as big then, it was like you'd have all these like meet and greet and events at the stores. So like all the manufacturers would show up with a booth. And these companies would show up with a booth and they'd hand out samples at these events and meet and greets and things like that. So it was like these people would show up and you just shake hands with them and talk to them.
Right.
And then just had that relationship. And then it was like we were looking into doing a protein bar, because I'm trying to think like all these other people, like Max Tuning has sour strips. You know, everybody's got their own little thing. And I was like,
Max Tuning is a fucking genius.
Oh, yeah,
I
bro.
will say
We
it
were
right
talking
now.
about that the other
yeah,
day.
because you were saying that when he had this project, this secret project that he was working on
XX.
for a while.
Yeah.
And when he finally released it and he said it was candy, people were like, "You're an idiot. This
Shitting
is
on it.
stupid." Yeah, like obviously he had his supporters saying this is good, but then he had other people saying like, "This is stupid. Why are you making candy?"
yeah.
And now it's in fucking Walmart.
Walmart, bro.
Now it's in Walmart.
Yeah, that's the
Well, I
goal.
mean, dude,
Because
but-
they taste. I mean, I'm not sponsored by
Sour
that.
strip.
Yeah, but they taste awesome.
Yeah, they're great.
They're awesome.
Yeah.
They're great.
So
But it's one of those things, though, where, like, I think it's just with anything in life, like, no matter what, if you have an idea and you have a dream, there's always going to be people shitting on it.
Yeah, exactly.
matter what.
I mean, think about like us, like everything that we do. There's
Dude.
always just gonna be people
Yeah.
shitting on you
Dude,
because they're living fucking horrible lives,
Horrible lives.
and they're like, all right, well, if this guy's having a good life and he's doing something that he wants to do, why don't I just shit on him because I can't, you know?
Dude, the best thing, I mean, I didn't really know you that well at the time, but I was on your Instagram one time, and you had this comment, this fucking no profile picture motherfucker commented some shit.
Yeah.
And it was this big, long thing. And it was like, I don't know what you're doing. You're shooting steroids, and
Yeah.
you're going to kill yourself. It was this big, long thing. And then you reply,
What I-
shut the fuck up, retard.
yeah, yeah, that's what we do though. It's like I'll pin,
Yeah.
especially I'll pin the comment so people see that I
Yeah.
reply and I'll say, shut the fuck up, retard, like shit like that.
it just
where it's
sucks
like,
because the new Instagram update, it auto filters comments. Because I remember some guy came onto my account and I said "suck my balls" and it deleted my comment. Instagram deleted my comment.
bro, yesterday someone commented on one of my most recent posts and like, yo, it was a girl and she was like, coming from one of the girls, Sush, your new girl's like a 6. And I go, shut the fuck up, whore. And then I got a community guidelines.
No way, strike.
Community guidelines strike, bro.
Damn,
And it said that your comment has been filtered out, and it was community guidelines strike because I said, shut the fuck up, whore.
that is just so annoying. I mean, come on.
I don't like censorship. I don't like filters.
It's funny because you can comment your new girl's a 6, which is equally as offensive.
Yeah,
as saying, Shut
bro.
the fuck up, whore. But they only filter for words. They don't filter for actual meaning.
Yeah.
So you can say something really mean, but not use any
Yeah,
of
no
the
cuss words.
yeah, exactly, and they'll allow it. But this is the new Anabar flavor. This is white chocolate fruity cereal crunch.
World premiere, by the way. No
Yes.
one has had these besides me.
This is
Yeah.
the prototype, and
Yes.
this is basically white chocolate, which me and Sush think is the best flavor.
Don't open it over that.
It's essentially...
Over this?
Don't open it over that. You're gonna get crumbs in it.
Actually, I don't
Oh,
think that
shit.
one's crummy.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's with the white chocolate.
I noticed
open
the
it over
cinnamon
this.
one is a little bit crummy.
It is. That one's a little crumbly. We actually have cinnamon, like actual Cinnamon Toast Crunch cereal in that one, though.
Oh, okay. That's probably
Yeah.
why.
Oh man.
Yeah, so this is white chocolate fruity pebble, and it's basically, if you like the white chocolate Oreo, which, I mean, the verdict's out. It's our best flavor.
Yeah.
This is the same thing, but with fruity pebbles
Can I have
in
a
it.
sip of water so I can clear my palate, get the full experience?
Got you, bro.
I think with the
Mind opening this? I only got one hand.
Yeah, I
right
got
now.
you, big dog.
The white chocolate is so good, but the move is to put it in the fridge so that the white chocolate icing gets a little bit cold.
Dude, freeze them. Have you frozen
Freeze
them
them?
yet?
No, I haven't
Yeah, they're
frozen them.
insane. You freeze the white chocolate ones, like here you go.
They last long?
Gotcha. Yeah, well they last longer, but they don't fully freeze. It's not hard to eat. It just like snaps off in your mouth.
It's the moment of truth.
All right. 3, 2, 1, let go.
Is it better than the other one?
I have to examine the flavor.
Dude, the thing with me is like the richness of the white chocolate might be like, because this one is like fruity, you know, it's probably a little bit sweeter, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's I'm definitely
By the way, guys, you guys can use code MOG. And right now the site's sold out. We've sold out the site.
yeah, appreciate all your
It's
fans.
so
Dude, you have some
fucking good.
loyal
I'm gonna
fans.
end up eating the whole thing, and I'm gonna be like, hold on, I'm just still examining the flavor.
Yeah. But yeah, so
Okay.
the site's sold out. So when these get back in stock, you guys can use code MOG.
Yeah, you'll be the first to know.
You know the Fruit Loops cereal bars that we buy in bulk
Yeah.
because they're so good?
Yeah.
It tastes like the white chocolate bar crossed with the
With
Fruit
that?
Loops cereal bar.
Oh, yeah.
You got to take a bite.
I'll take a bite. Yeah. Just rip me off a piece in the end.
All right.
Yeah, world premiere,
Oh,
man.
shit.
The
You-
first
you-
taste
You
test.
fucking called it, Sush. I got some on here.
All right, we got the verdicts here. We got to if it doesn't meet you guys' standards, then we just can't launch it.
Oh no, this is easily tied for first, maybe first place.
No. It's really fucking good. And the reason why it's so good is because you taste the white chocolate first. And then once you chew it more, then you taste
the Fruity
Fruity
Pebbles.
Pebbles.
Yes,
Dude, it's so fucking good.
that's insane, and it's
Yeah.
got 21 grams of protein.
Yeah, well, like the goal, you know, with these protein bars, because like I would say if we've gotten any pushback at all, the only, 99.9% of people are just like these are just the best.
Yeah.
Right. The pushback we've gotten two key things.
High
One,
cal.
yeah, high cal, which I'm gonna break down, and then two is the sugar that's in it because we didn't use sugar alcohols or any of the
Right,
weird
honey.
fibers or anything. Yeah, it's honey.
Yeah, it's honey.
Yeah, it's honey. So the first thing with like the calorie thing, I mean, it's definitely not because your
it's
average
not for cutting.
Yeah, I mean, but it
could
can
be.
be. It can be if you're tracking your calories and shit. But it's like the big thing with the calories is like, so you look at a Quest bar, right? The lowest calorie Quest bar they have is the oatmeal chocolate chip, 7 fat, 20 protein, 23 carb, 17 or 13 grams of fiber, something like that.
Yeah.
But they do that trick on it where when they're telling you the calories on the back of the label, they're subtracting the fiber calories, the sugar alcohol is taking it off. So it tells you on the back of the label that it's 200 calories. But if you do the math on it, it's 235.
Okay.
And a lot of protein bars do that. I did a video on my channel where I broke down because I knew that was people were gonna say something.
Yeah, and
I'm
that's like that thing where it's like, Greg, you said it's like labels lie, labels lie.
And then you also got to look at the weight. So a Quest bar, we weigh more than a Quest bar. We weigh like our bar weighs more. You get more bar than a lot of other bars too.
That's very interesting because we had somebody comment like, "Yo, I'm not gonna buy the Anna bars because I can easily have a Quest bar, less calories."
Yeah, someone said I could easily have a Quest bar and it's less calories.
Yeah,
I'm
bro,
like,
but that
bro,
shit
you
tastes like
couldn't
dog
pay. You
food.
couldn't pay me to have a Quest bar. I'm sorry.
Right.
No hate to Quest, but I've tried them before. You had them here for a bit.
Yeah.
And you never bought them again.
Yeah,
That's
no,
all
I didn't.
know.
I didn't have them. I had them for like I bought like probably 2 packs or 2 boxes like that, and then I just never bought them again.
Well,
So
I ate
I
'em.
would just say that if you're cutting, this is a good guilt-free dessert because you
There we go.
Yeah,
There we
yeah.
go.
Macro friendly dessert.
you want to be able to have a sweet tooth while you're cutting so then you don't end up binging. However, if you're bulking, then this is a good just overall daily snack.
Yeah.
Like you can have it whenever because if you're a hard gainer, obviously having a couple of these, that's going to be 540 calories in 2. And if you're a hard gainer like me, that shit is easy because it tastes good.
I love them pre-workout, but I think that's enough about the bars.
Yeah, we've been talking about the bars. We're way
good.
too enthusiastic
We're
about
good.
them. But when these restock, code MOG,
We'll let you guys know.
the original 3 flavors will be restocking in 2 weeks.
Yeah,
and then
roughly
this
2
one
weeks.
will be restocking in 3 weeks.
Yeah, well, this one will be launching in probably like,
launching in 3 weeks.
Yeah, three to 4. But
Okay.
we want to do it ASAP. So once we have an exact date, I'm gonna let you guys know, and then we'll
Yeah.
just to the moon, baby.
And hopefully we just landed another sponsor. Well, what we think we just got to seal the deal, but we just got another sponsor, so we're really looking forward to that one
Yeah.
whenever we can confirm that.
Yeah.
But that'll be dope. I
Oh,
think
yeah.
you guys will like that one. It's a good one.
So yeah, bars are dope. Glad you guys like them. Now we can officially launch.
Yes. So, should we get right into it?
Yeah, well, you pulled up in, I was just going to say, he pulled up in the i8, the BMW i8. If you guys haven't seen this guy's car collection, it's fucking, I mean, it's not really a collection, it's 2 cars, right? Or 3?
Yeah, it's 2. I had 3. I gave one of them away.
You gave it away?
Gave it.
Yeah, I gave the range to my ex-girlfriend.
Wow.
Damn.
Yeah.
Did you ask for it back?
No. No.
I would have.
Gave the reign to the ex-girlfriend?
Yeah,
That's awesome.
I mean, it's one of them things. Like, well, I mean, we were together at the time. It's just one of those things. Like, you know, you have someone in your life that's been with you for like, you know, from the start and believed in you when no one else did, and then like they've rode with you for a long time,
Yeah.
put up with the long hours, understood the gym shit, missed out on meals and missed out on experiences because you're doing this whole lifestyle. And I mean, that's the least I can do. I bought her a car. Like when I first started making money, bought her like a pretty nice Hyundai Elantra, and then yeah, I got the G-Wagon and gave her the Range Rover.
Damn.
That's awesome. That's definitely goals. Like that's something that you want to be able to do is give something worth a lot of value and you give it to someone you like a loved one.
You're not going to
100%.
find many people in life that legitimately love you. You know what I mean?
That is true.
You meet a lot of people that just kind of want to reach in your pocket and fuck you over, and like bad actors and snakes in the grass. I mean, dude, I've been screwed over by so many so-called friends. It's not even funny. That's why I have like 2 now. You know what I mean?
Yeah, same.
Your,
I keep my
your circle's
tight.
pretty small.
Pretty small, man.
I feel like with me, it's like I haven't been in this industry long enough, and I've like made my circle small just by like hanging out with you. Mm-hmm. But like I haven't really experienced really that much me getting fucked over.
Well,
Yeah.
you guys are both in a good spot because you're already like elevated. So anybody that you're meeting at this level is like, because I mean, in order to be successful here, I mean, obviously some people that are kind of shitty can be successful too. But it's like most people, like to get to this level, especially on a platform like YouTube where you have to be somewhat genuine. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
You have to be like halfway a decent person. But like I'm talking like,
Sometimes.
yeah, sometimes. But unless you're like Kenny KO. But it's like
I agree with you on that one.
Shout out Kenny.
yeah. But it's like one of the things like when you're starting out though, man, like when I started YouTube, dude, I was in this small town that like no one in the town had done YouTube before me. Like I was the first one. And then I started doing it and I had a bunch of friends, this little friend circle. We'd go do videos and stuff. And then back in the day, we'd go do eating challenges. So we'd go like, hey, like we'd find the restaurants that had like, you know, eat 10 burgers in this time or this crazy big pizza. We'd go do them and have like competitions. And those are some of my like biggest videos when I was starting. And then like I'd have friends get like really weird about it. And they're like, yeah, I can't do those with you anymore. And then the next week they're stealing my idea and going and doing their own eating challenges and trying to start a channel. And it's like, and I mean, I don't care if people are like trying to make content, but it was just the way that some people handle things. And it was like, and we had this tight knit group, man, of just a bunch of us. And like the goal was like, let's take the squad to the top.
It's when money and fame get involved is when people start to get,
but not with real true friends.
Right.
Like
think about Eric, bro. Like he's been with me since the fucking like middle school, and like now that we're both like doing pretty well for ourselves at our age, it's like it's still the same, you know. And he was, and bro, at the Airbnb, bro, he was fucking miserable, you know. And now he's like super chill. We'll get him on the pod one day. We'll talk about it.
Yes, one day. But dude, it's not just that I've been betrayed for monetary reasons by snakes in the grass, but I've just encountered too many people where I'm like a really naturally trusting person.
Yeah.
And that's a good thing and a bad thing. And luckily for me, I'm pretty good, I guess, at dealing with being backstabbed or betrayed or whatever. Like, I can kind of get over that, but it still really fucking sucks. And like, there have just been things where you hear so-and-so said something about you and it's coming from someone that I trust. And it's like, I know this person's not lying about what so-and-so said because this is one of my closest friends. Why would that person say that about me? What have I done to them? You know? And it just, I cannot imagine doing that to someone that I think, like Lex. I would never, behind Lex's back, go and say, oh, you know, I really think like Lex is a dishonest person and blah, blah, blah. I would never say some shit like that because when I commit to a friend, I have respect for them behind the scenes too, not just to their face. And I expect that same in return. Like, I'd never go and talk shit about Sush, and if I heard someone talking shit about Sush, I would defend him.
Right.
Even if he wasn't there, even if it wasn't for optics, even if there were no cameras on. So when it happens to me, it's just like, okay, like, I guess we're not friends anymore, but why did it have to happen that way? Why'd you have to do that, you know?
Well, I was going to say, how old are you?
30.
See, he's 30, so he's like, I feel like what we're talking about right now is totally different from something that he's experienced because he's like, it's not for us. That's to him. It's almost like gossip, like what we're doing, like people gossiping about each other, and he's probably thinking like, these 20-year-olds and their beef.
I mean, dude, if there's one thing I'll tell you, it's that like, I mean, I don't feel much different than I felt at 20, besides smarter, maybe, and better
Wiser.
off financially. Yeah, wiser.
Yeah.
But like, you know, even right before I moved down here, it was like, because right before I moved, it was like I bought the i8, and I was just kind of like, I remember very clearly in my town that I was living in. Right when I bought the i8, everything changed. It was super.
You bought it in Ohio?
Yeah.
So, did you live in Cleveland?
I lived in just south of Columbus,
okay,
in a small city. So it was like, I remember I went and bought the i8, and it just seemed like overnight to some people I was automatically like successful. You know what I mean? The people that had been talking shit for a while, I made it. You know what I mean? Because I bought the i8. But then it was like, on the other hand, I automatically turned into like this rich asshole that was just conceited, thought he was better than everybody else. And it was like, and I remember,
and that comes with buying nice things.
Yeah, but it's like, to me, man, there were people that like, I remember I partied a lot. So we'd go out to the, like, dude, small town, there's like one bar to go to. You know what I mean? So you're seeing the same people, you're rubbing shoulders with the same people. There's like one main restaurant. And it was like people that I was like, we'd met and like we had great times together. Then I just wouldn't talk to him for a couple years. But when I do that with somebody, like we have one really good time together. Like in my head, we're close, and I'd probably do a lot for you if something came up. You know what I mean? We have one good experience together. I'm like, I'm considering you a homie. It's like those same people making like Facebook posts and shit, and then everybody commenting and replying about how I've changed and I'm this asshole and I think I'm better than everybody else. And I'm like, dude, like we just like last time we talked, we were
They
cool.
were making Facebook posts about you?
Oh yeah, bro.
That's pretty badass though.
Oh yeah.
Like at your hometown, people making Facebook
but
posts
just
talking shit.
Yes, it's on one hand, oh, it's just gossip, but on the other hand, you're right, it is just gossip. It's this really petty thing. So it's like I kind of expect better out of my friends, you know? Like why would you stoop to that level where it's this high school shit?
Yeah.
You know, we're adults here. Why would you do that?
Well, dude, what you realize is that, like, you know, you think you're in high school and it's gossip, and, like, you know, early 20s and it's gossip and it's going to go when you get older. That shit stays the same, bro.
Yeah.
That shit stays the same. It's all about the people that, and that's one of the reasons I moved, man. I couldn't do shit in where I was at. Like, half the town seemed to, like, really like me and be really cool with me, and the other half hated me for no reason. At least that's what it felt like. Like, I didn't do anything wrong. I was just automatically an asshole.
What was it like when you came here?
Fucking incredible. Dude,
Like,
I
totally
could
switched up.
Dude, I could go out to dinner and, like, no one knew me.
Yeah.
Dude, like, when you're from, are you guys from a small town?
Yeah.
Okay. So it was like one of the things,
bit.
like, you couldn't go anywhere without running into somebody. And there were times, like, me and Ank, like I said, there was, like, one main restaurant in town. We'd go to that restaurant, and it was like, you'd see certain cars parked outside. You're like, oh, these dudes are in here.
Right,
You know what I mean? Or like, oh, crap. This, you know, it's just like, to come somewhere and it just be so, like, I can go here, and if someone knows me, it's because they know me for my work. You know what I mean? They know me from YouTube. They know me from what I do.
Yeah.
And that's like way better than like someone that thinks they know me because one guy said this and this other guy said that. You know what I mean?
And I'm assuming you have a similar effect. You train at Alfleet, obviously. We train at Alfleet. When we first started going to Alfleet, like it was really, it was honestly super motivating, refreshing to like have people, you know us from just like YouTube and from what we do. Like they know us. And like, so I'm assuming that's what happened to you when you came here.
Yeah, that and just like a breath of like, actually, I remember because when I first started coming to Alfleet, Christian still trained there. Max still trained there. So for me, those were like, when I was coming up on YouTube, those were the people I was watching.
Yeah.
And then to see them in person.
But also you moved to a place where there are a lot of entrepreneurs. So
100%.
I think probably a lot of people, instead of hating you for the way that you'd made it, they respected you now. So it's just a whole different atmosphere.
Whole different vibe, bro.
Oh, people actually fuck with me because I made it, and not people not fucking with me because I made it.
Yeah,
you know?
and you know, but it's even one of those things though. To me, it was always like, you know, people are like, he's changed, and I'm like,
good.
Good.
Why is change bad? I hate that.
Yeah.
Yo, you've changed. Go back to your old content. No, bro.
But it's like if I've changed, like you haven't fucking spoken to me. We haven't talked. Like, what do you mean I've changed, motherfucker? Like, what do you mean?
Yeah.
Dude, I don't mean to keep cutting you off, but I just agree with everything you're saying because I know exactly what you mean. It's like, there have been some people that have told me that I've changed, and it's like, well, first off, good. I don't want to be my old self. My old self was not doing what I'm doing now. But 2, how the fuck would you know?
Right.
You don't even know me. You haven't talked to me in years.
Yeah, you don't know shit.
Yeah, exactly. So I hate that. Well, you've changed as if it's a bad thing or as if you know that.
You know, and
like, no, you don't.
And I think part of it, I mean, it's obviously from like, there's some of it's jealousy. It has to be. When you see someone killing it and crushing it. I mean, when I was younger, I remember this clearly. When I was a kid and you'd be watching like Nickelodeon and I'd see the little kids in the commercials like doing cool shit. Low key, you're jealous.
Yeah,
you know
you're
what
like,
I mean?
I wish I could be there.
Yeah, why can't that be me? You know what I mean? But it's like, on the other hand, it's like, how are you going to fault me for like, I mean, my only goal is to be better every single day, regardless. Like, I want to be better next year than I am right now. I want to be better in 10 years. I always want to be going ahead. And then what I noticed about like a lot of people back home is that like, you're hating on me, but yet like, dude, you're still at the same bar every fucking Saturday, drinking the same shit with the same girl that slept with half the fucking city.
Maybe you should change, you know? Maybe this person that's talking shit should change.
Yeah.
Like, change is good. But I just want to cover on this because you have changed and you came from some pretty rough times. So so you dealt just cover some of the stuff that you've dealt with.
Did you go to college?
I dropped out. Yeah.
Okay.
All right.
Did you drop out for YouTube or you dropped out?
No, I dropped out because I was a fucking idiot. Yeah. So, all right. You're going to high school, obviously. I mean, did you guys go to college?
I did for 2 years and then like half a semester.
And you realized it was a waste of, you could do better?
Yeah.
So for me, I mean, dude, YouTube wasn't even a thing when I was in college. So what that was, went to college in '08. I mean, dude, all throughout high school, man, I was like, kind of like a class clown, you know? I was going to make people laugh.
I think we all were.
Yeah. I think that's probably why we gravitate towards the camera and doing this shit.
100%.
But it was like, and I was always one of those kids, like, you know, not to sound any type of way, but it was like, I consider myself fairly intelligent, but I never applied myself in school. Like, I never sat down and studied.
Same.
You know what I mean?
100%.
Yeah, so it was like...
Just kind of glide by on, I've got natural intellect. I can probably just skate by and I'll be good.
I never had to study.
Right, yeah, same.
And ever. Until it was like crazy late math classes. I'm like, okay.
Yeah. Then you gotta hunker down and study.
All right. But like, you just kind of coast by and then, I got in a lot of trouble growing up, man. I got in a lot of fights growing up.
I got in a few.
I think I had...
didn't get in a ton, but...
I think I had 4 assault charges before I graduated high school.
Whoa.
Yeah, I was a hothead.
Yeah.
Yeah, my dad...
Those aren't the fights like we've been in.
Yeah. Yeah, but it was like, dude, you would get assault charges for like anything though.
Because it was a small town.
Yeah.
So like maybe a little fight was like a big like,
Yeah.
shit, like Remington could beat the shit out of this guy.
Dude, I mean, I remember like I was one of the first like viral videos in my city because me and a dude fought after school. And like it was one of those things, if you're fighting a dude after school, like the school's so small. I mean, I want to say we only had like 80 people in our graduating class.
Holy shit.
Yeah. So like if you're fighting after school, like dude, we had 100 people show up to this fight. Yeah. So like everybody shows up and then me and this dude fight. I end up winning. And then it gets filmed and then like you think it's over because you're like, all right, no cops are off school grounds. Like, let's leave. And we left on good terms. And then like the next day in the office, someone pulls out their phone and shows the video to the principal. Then boom, court.
Fuck that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy. I know his name, but I'm going to leave it out of here. But yeah, I got in a lot of trouble and it was like, to my family, I think I was kind of the black sheep in a way. Like I could not stay out of trouble. I was the one that was drinking. I was the one that was smoking. Class clown. I mean, I played sports in high school, but then senior year, I didn't play any sports. I just smoked a lot of weed with my friends.
Same, bro.
You know what I mean? I just quit doing it. And then my mom, like I think, and then dude, my senior year, because I got this tattoo on my chest. I don't know if you can see it, but it's got like RIP CEK on it.
Yeah.
On my senior trip, my best friend fell out the window of our hotel and died.
Jesus.
So it was
Was he like...
Yeah, dude, it's actually a really crazy story. I actually wasn't physically there for it. We went down to our senior trip. It's probably like 10 of us, 10 or 12 guys from my class, and we drove down in 2 separate cars. And we were supposed to stay like Monday through Saturday or some shit. And then it was one of those things where like we're driving to, because you could drive to Myrtle Beach is where we went. We drive to Myrtle Beach from Ohio, but none of us knew how to get there. It was before GPS was a thing. So it was like my mom knew how to get there. So like my mom went down on her own family vacation and we just followed them down. So it was one of those things. We all get down to Myrtle Beach. We're drinking. We're getting way too fucked up. I got arrested in Myrtle Beach for throwing a chair off like the 30th floor of our hotel and it landed in the pool area. And if it would have hit somebody, I would have killed them.
Yeah.
Damn.
Yeah, just drunk as fuck. Wild.
Yeah.
Well, I did an overnight in Myrtle Beach for that, which was crazy. But
you only got overnight?
Yeah, dude. I went and they put me in they arrested me, put me in the back of this van thing with like a bunch of other people, throw me in a cell with like a ton of other people in like a drunk tank. And we're all just in there. There's no blankets. You're just in this room. The light never went out. And then across the hall, it was really weird now that I think about it because it was racially segregated. In our big holding cell, it was like all white dudes. And in the other cell was all black dudes. And then there was white dudes yelling at the black dudes. And then they ended up like combining cells and a fight broke out.
Maybe that's why they kept him separate.
Yeah, it could be.
And then the guards were like, fuck it, let's see some fucking action.
Dude, I was only 17 at the time.
That's dark.
I was only 17 at the time. So I'm like scared out of my mind. I'm in Myrtle Beach, Like
Yeah.
my mom just watched me get arrested.
That's probably why it was just overnight. They were like, let's just scare this kid.
Well,
like,
so
Right, yeah.
okay. So the next morning, the
Had a
way they
similar
process you down there, it's like fast food court. They put us all together with handcuffs, like in a line, right? Handcuffed to each other, legs and hands, and you have to walk in front of a line in front of the judge, one by one. And then they literally
scary.
he just reads your thing, and I think mine was the cop only charged me with underage consumption. I think he could have charged me with. I think he felt sorry for me because I was pretty tore up about it.
Yeah.
you know what I mean. And my mom was there. And my mom was real sad, so I think he felt really bad. But it was one of those things where the judge. I don't think the judge even knew what happened. He just reads it. He goes, "Underage consumption. How do you plead?" I'm like, "Not guilty." He goes, "Sentence, time served." And that was it.
Yeah.
They let me out. So arrest story. But so we're in Myrtle Beach, and then it was time to leave. So we had like 4 friends of ours that had some extra money. They'd been working, and like, well, we're gonna stay a couple more days. You guys can just go ahead and go back. And in our group, we had a friend that had to be back in Ohio to go on family vacation with his girlfriend, and my mom was leaving too. So like, well, we'll just go back. We've had fun. We've been fucked up. I got arrested. Like, we'll just go back. So on our way back, we're driving, and then I get a text from one of my friends, and he's like, I don't know if I should say names, but
You don't say
Right,
it.
yeah, don't.
yeah, but he's like basically like so and so is dead,
Jesus.
and I'm like, what? And like we're literally pulling into my house, and he's like, yeah, he's dead. Oh my God, like pray to God, like oh my God, he's dead. So I'm trying to call him, no one's answering. Then my one friend picks up and he's just like screaming, and it's loud. He's like, he's dead, he's not breathing, he's not moving, he's dead. And I'm like, so we're all shocked. I tell the car, I call my mom. We literally we all pull into my house, and we're just sitting there. We're all crying. We don't know what to do. We're like, you know what I mean? We just drove 10 hours or whatever that drive was. And then my mom's crying, and like no one can believe it. And then where we were at, there was no cell service at the guy that died's mom's house. So me and my mom, my stepdad had to drive out and tell his mom that he was dead. Yeah. And we drove. I remember we went out in the country. We hit that driveway, and like she's on the porch. I think she was even knitting on the porch. And we roll up. And then my mom gets out of the car, and she's like just her eye, she's just crying. And then like I'm in the back seat, and I'm like, I get out and I'm just fucking bawling. And she's like, "What's wrong? What's wrong? Is everything okay? What's wrong?" And my mom just like shakes her head no. And then I was just and then she's like, "Is Corey all right?" She shakes her head no. And then and then I just remember her like my mom's like, she's like, "Is he dead?" My mom's like nods.
Jesus.
And then I remember her scream. I'll never forget her scream. It was like, yeah, I'll never forget it.
Yeah, I bet you won't.
Yeah, now that was tough, man. So like that happens on senior trip, and then the stuff around that, like there was so much like stuff around it where like who was responsible, who caused it, what happened. There was stuff I probably shouldn't get into on here. It's been a long time, but it's like, no one, like a lot of people didn't think it was clearly an accident. You know what I mean? So it was like, my mom's like, you need to get away from these people. Like you need to go. So I'm just sending you to a different city. You're going off to college.
Yeah.
So, she wanted me to get a, because I went to college. I didn't know what I wanted to do. I had no idea. You know what I mean? So it was one of those things where it was like, she's like, get a nursing degree. That'll be good. You'll make good money and all this shit, And I moved there.
Were you like into fitness at this time?
No.
Okay.
No way. Not at all. So we moved there. I moved there, and I moved to this city. I'm going to an Ohio State branch college. I got an apartment there, and it was like my friend had just died. I had no new friends, and I was just like, I was taking like, I remember sitting at my like desk that I had in this house, in like this apartment, and I would like put on songs we used to listen to, and I would just like sit there and cry. You know what I mean? And it was just like, and I would like find a way to get alcohol. I would drive back to my like an hour and something away, back to my hometown, get someone to give me alcohol. I'd buy a bunch of pills and shit, come back to my apartment complex, get fucked up, and just cry about this shit. And so college for me, man, was basically I did like a year of because you can't really get into nursing until you do like a year of the regular stuff. And I did the regular stuff, and it was one of those things I wasn't studying. I was just kind of like trying to coast by, and then just getting fucked up and doing drugs all the time, drinking. And then came time for the second year, and I kind of had like a weird little like I don't want to call it like kind of like a little mental breakdown, to be honest.
This was your sophomore year?
Yes, I literally got like a couple weeks into sophomore year, and it was I found myself in this weird habit. I ended up making friends, but like they were all just doing drugs and drinking, and all we were doing was partying. So it was like every night, no matter what anybody had, I was just taking whatever. And one dude had shrooms one night, and it was like, have you guys ever taken shrooms?
Yeah.
No, I've not.
It's an experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, we've been meaning to get at it, or him and I.
You gotta prep right for it.
Yeah.
If you don't do it right,
If you're in a
shit's
bad
wild.
mindset.
Yeah.
Sounds like you were.
Which I'm surprised. So you were in a bad mindset.
Terrible.
Oh, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean,
But most people don't know when they go into a shroom trip, they think it's just going to be like funny colors and you'll feel good, but it's not.
yeah, dude, people just hand you shit. And that was that time where like someone would hand me shit and I just take it. You know what I mean? So, sophomore year, I took these shrooms and, you know, dude, it was this thing. Like I had a fucking problem. Like I would go, not only was I drinking, but I'd wake up the next day hungover. But when you're young, the hangovers aren't quite the same as they are now. So you're like, you're not completely debilitated.
Right.
But I'd go to the gas station. I'd buy, you ever seen those like Yellow Jacket pills, the caffeine pills?
Yeah.
Like Yellow Jacket.
Yeah.
I would just buy those and just not even think about it and just pop them like all day. So I'm on all these Yellow Jackets. I'm drinking, I'm smoking. And then I took shrooms, dude. And like I'm like halfway through the shroom trip and things just got like really, 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 really dark. And at one point, I swear that like my vision, like I felt it, my heart started really hurting or my chest started really hurting. And I swore that I was having a heart attack. I was like, you're going to die. And that's like what my brain kept repeating it. I remember my vision was like black. Like I remember it was like going, like a movie was ending. Like it's just black, black. And then it went away.
Dude, okay, go on.
Yeah. And then like I stood up and I was like, holy shit, like I'm fucked up. I need to go to the hospital. So I had a friend drive me to the hospital and I'm on all this shit. And then they told me I just had a panic attack is what they said. But dude, for like months after that, dude, I couldn't sleep. I got sober, but like I couldn't sleep. I was like laying in bed and like my anxiety would run. I'd close my eyes. I was always scared that something was wrong with my heart. I just had this weird like mental problem and shit. And then I just got to this point where I was so like just dark and I'm in this city. I don't know anybody. I mean, I knew people, but they weren't, we were just getting fucked up. And it was like, I legit, dude, I didn't sleep for like 4 days. Woke up one day. It was like, I'm moving to California. We're going. And I got rid of all my shit. Just got rid of all of it. I had everybody I knew came over and I said like, if you want any of this shit, take it. And I gave all my shit away.
So you were sober at this point. You said you got sober.
I got sober and then.
So what
was
prompted you to get sober at that point? Was it just because you'd had this horrible experience
Dude,
and you were like, I gotta stop?
Yeah, I thought I was, I thought I fucked myself up. I thought like I permanently fucked myself up. I thought that like I fucked my brain up. I thought that my heart was fucked up. I went and got 3 EKG tests in like 2 months because I swore I was having heart attacks. But it was just, I think, just really bad anxiety. But it all culminated with like everything leading up to that and then the shrooms. And it was just like, fuck. It's so weird to think back, dude. That was 11 years ago. But it was like, I swore, dude, I was so fucked up, bro, that I took a permanent marker and wrote on my wall in this apartment, like, you are okay. Really big on my wall. Didn't give a fuck. So I needed reminders that I was fine.
So what was the plan for California?
I didn't have a plan.
You just wanted to get out?
Well, yeah, but like my stepbrother lived out there. So at the time, and I hadn't talked to him in years, but I just had this weird thing in my head where I was just going to go stay with him. And I remember, dude, I got my one friend to drive me all the way to Indiana and just drop me off at a Walmart. Yeah. I had no cell phone. I had nothing.
So how'd you get the rest of the way? Hitchhiking?
So I tried to hitchhike. It didn't work. No one was going to take me anywhere. I was fucking like, I felt batshit crazy. And I remember I walked around this town like all day. And I just, in my head, I was in this weird spot where I was like really happy once I got out of where I was at. But it was like, and I was like, everything's going to work out. Everything's going to be fine. And I remember I just walked around all day just trying to figure something out. I remember like, there was no, I didn't have a phone. I remember I went to a library and tried to like use the internet. So I was like, maybe I can reach somebody this way or reach my stepbrother or something. And then, I remember I got back to the, I walked into this hotel and I asked the lady if I could just like stay the night, like if I could work or something and just stay the night because I needed somewhere to sleep. I was exhausted, hadn't slept in days and shit. And it was like, and then I think she felt really sorry for me. And she was, if I remember right, she had like just gotten really bad. Like I think her husband or boyfriend or whatever was like in prison because he like kept beating her up and she just got out of that. So she was like really like an emotionally damaged woman, but she was so caring and so nice. And then she ended up somehow she helped me with her computer and looked up my stepbrother and like was able to call him, and he knew something was wrong. And he flew in from LA, like, you know,
Damn.
he got me a room there, flew in from LA, got a rental car, came, picked me up, and we drove the rest of the way out to California.
Holy shit.
Yeah.
So he had no idea that you were planning on coming when you first left.
No,
He only found out when this hotel woman helped
In
you
the
and
middle
called
of
him.
Indiana.
Yeah.
And she
Fucking
was like,
nuts.
your stepbrother's in the middle of
Yeah.
nowhere. And yeah.
Are you still close with him?
Yeah, dude, he's actually visiting next week. I'm flying him down. He's gonna be here.
Damn, dude. He sounds like a fucking G.
Dude,
I know.
he is a G. He actually runs all of our social media. He owns a social media
Oh,
company.
really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, for Final Boss. But yeah, dude, that was and then the California experience was a whole nother thing.
Yeah, what was that like? Did you get back on drugs?
Ooh. So California, like I showed up and keep in mind, dude, at the time was I 18 or 19. I was a kid and I had like no world experience at all. And I just fucking moved out to California. So
Yeah, you went from like a super small city to a fucking massive
dude. And
Cali, you know?
Yeah, and the thing is you're so trusting and you think everybody's so like
Not in LA.
yeah, dude, yeah, man.
Yeah.
Yeah. So you just think everybody's so good and so wholesome and like people, you know, because like when you're from a small town, like, you know, as much as it sucked as I started doing my shit, like when you're like everybody's just kind of nice and more hello, hey, how you doing? In LA, no one gives a fuck. Everybody's just about themselves. But yeah, moved to LA, and then my stepbrother had a place out there. But it's one of those things where like he's out there and he's like, all right, I'm gonna help you out. But I was just a kid, man. And he's like, you need to find a job. And I'm like going and walking the streets and meeting random people and like walking around and like just not being responsible. You know what I mean? At all. And like he had gotten some weed out there from like a dispensary, and then like I would smoke it all in the middle of the night. I'm just up late and shit. And then he ended up like having a talk with me about it, and I was basically like, you know, all my fault. And I was like, well, I'm moving out. He said, where are you gonna go? I'm like, I'll figure it out. And I just took off, just left. So I leave, and I'm basically quote unquote homeless in Los Angeles. And the craziest story I have from LA was, so I leave, and then there was this guy I met. And you ever meet someone and then like you have a good experience, and then you never like hear or see from them again? You don't know their name. Yeah, dude. So this dude, his name, he was like a rapper out there, and he went by the name Raw, and his first name was Anthony. I don't remember his last name, but if somehow he hears this, hit me up, bro. I'll send you some money. But it was one like I met him, and he was just in the same spot as me. He was homeless. He'd been staying in these like houses that are out there for homeless people. So we'd link up, and we just neither of us had any money. Neither of us knew what was going on, but we just like we're trying to live life and have fun, you know. And then we were outside of there was a famous bookstore down there. So we were right in Hollywood. LA might not be, because is LA and Hollywood the same thing?
Hollywood's in LA, I think.
Okay.
It's part of, there's
Yeah.
LA County, Hollywood's in it.
Okay, well, where he lived, my stepbrother, we could, in 5 minutes, you're on Hollywood Boulevard. So we were in the middle of everything. So we're outside of this, it was called Amoeba Records, is what it's called there.
Okay.
So we were outside of that, and this dude pulls up, and he's got this like Mercedes car, and he pulls up, and he like, you know, walks in to the Amoeba Records, and then while he's in there, this like meter maid comes up and puts a ticket on his window, and then like he walks back out, and then I'm like, hey man, you got ticketed, dude, you know? And he's like, oh damn it, they got me. And then so we just started bullshitting. He's like, so what are you doing out here? And I just kind of gave him a rundown of what was going on, like with my story and everything. And he's like, what are you doing right now? I'm like, nothing. And then he's like, well, come on, let's go do something. I'm like, okay. So I hop in his Mercedes. No idea. You know what I mean? I'm just a kid.
Yeah.
Dude. I'm just so trusting. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah.
So we go, he takes me to this bar type thing, and he walks in, has a shit ton of money, shit ton of cash. And he goes in, and at the time I'm broke as fuck. So he's like, we go in, and then he's like ordering drinks, getting me drinks and shit. I'm getting loose. I'm like, this is fun.
Yeah.
And then he kept having to take these phone calls. Like he would step away to take phone calls. I didn't really know what was going on. And then so we did that. And then he's like, so what's going on with you? You know, where you staying or whatever? He's like, I'll drop you off somewhere. I'm like, dude, I have nowhere to stay. So me and him slept in his Mercedes, just on the side of like Hollywood or whatever. Yeah, like just on some road, side street.
Yeah.
So we slept, and then
Wait, did he have a crib?
I'll keep telling the story. I don't think so. I don't know what was going on, but I'll keep telling the story because it gets deeper.
You never figured out like who this guy is? What does he do?
No.
Okay.
Oh no, I did.
Okay.
But he was very secretive, and you'll find out why. So basically, we do that, and we wake up in the morning, and I was like, "Fuck, dude! Like, I need a shower and all this shit." And he's like, "All right, I got to go handle business." He's like, "Here's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna get you a hotel room. You can go in and do whatever you need to do." I'm like, okay. So he gets me a hotel room at like, I mean, not really like a really nice hotel, but a decent hotel. I'm like, shit. All right. So like, I go in, take a shower, change and shit. I'm like, this is pretty cool.
Yeah.
And then so he hits me up in a little bit. He's like, hey, you want to go get into something? I'm like, sure. So he picks me up, takes me down to, we just went on this crazy drive. He takes me down to like Compton. He's like, you want to see Compton? I'm like, sure. So we went down to like Compton. Fucking wild, bro. So
Especially back, like, what is this, 2009?
yeah, 2009.
Okay.
So this was a black dude.
Okay.
So it was like, he's black, I'm white.
How'd you know the year?
Well, because he said 11 years ago. And so
Yeah.
Oh,
okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So like we're down there, and then like I remember we pulled up to this. It was a chicken joint, and then we're sitting there, and there are people looking in the car, and then he was like, "Don't look at them. They're gonna think you're a cop." Like it was a real thing. He's like, "You just stay in here, keep your head down. If you're here, everybody's gonna think you're a cop." He had to go in and like get his food and come out. Like I wasn't allowed to go in with him.
Damn.
Yeah. So did all this shit, and then we're driving, and then he's getting this phone call, and he's like, all right, man, I got to take this, but I'll tell you about it afterwards. I'm like, all right. Picks the phone up, and he starts talking like a girl, like, hey, how's it going? Yeah, sweetie, no problem. Da da da.
Like, really good voice, though?
Yes. Yeah, very good. So he hangs up, and I'm like, because a couple times
You're like, bro, what the fuck was that?
dude, a couple times he had to like, because we were hanging out all day, he would have to like duck off and like do these phone calls.
Jeez.
But eventually we're driving, and he has to take one in front of me, and he gets off the phone, and I'm like
what the fuck?
Yeah, what was that? So come to find out, this dude was a pimp. Okay, and the way it worked was he would get these girls like signed up under him or whatever, but he would pretend to be the female, so she was the pimp, and him himself was the quote unquote bodyguard, quote unquote muscle that would go pick up the money from the girls, right?
Okay.
So he would trick, these girls into thinking that there was this girl, because they would put ads on back pages and shit back then, and Craigslist and all that. So there'd be ads, because dude, people out in LA, man, prostitution is so huge out there. So like, he would get the girls signed up, like. I think he'd make an ad like looking for entertainer, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
Say the right shit. And then they'd do their call. He'd call and talk like a girl, make them feel comfortable, make them feel secure, make them feel good, put them up in a hotel room somewhere for weeks. And then guys would hit up the Backpages website, and then he'd coordinate it all through text message, let the girls know. Guy would show up, give the girl the money. He'd go get his share as the guy, as himself really, as like the muscle. Does that make sense?
So he was like
Yeah.
conning him?
Yeah, he was conning them, but like he wasn't ripping them off, but he was just like, I'm not sure if I bet he was just pretending to be a woman. Yeah, I mean, I guess he did.
To make them more comfortable.
Yeah, I guess to get more girls,
Okay.
like, because he'd be like, "Don't worry, sweetie. Like, yeah, it's gonna be fine."
Okay.
You know what I mean?
Okay, I see.
So he's
I
like,
see.
you
It's
know-
like
Yeah.
If a girl is listening to,
Makes
if the
sense
girl's
now.
boss is like another woman in
Yeah.
power, it's like a little bit different. That's actually pretty fucking
Dude,
smart.
That's what I'm saying, especially in like prostitution and sex work. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like, so I figured all this out, all right? And then crazy shit. So so he's telling me this, and I'm like, what the fuck? And he goes, do you want to have sex tonight? I'm like, sure. So, dude, so we're out there, and I'm nervous as fuck, by the way, right?
Yeah.
He's like, all right, so he pulls into this.
So you were like 19 at this point,
19,
right?
bro. Yeah, I was a kid, bro.
Okay.
I didn't know shit.
Yeah.
I was dumb. I was a kid, just high on life.
Yeah.
That's all I had at that time. You know, YouTube wasn't a thing. I had no one I was watching that was influencing me any type of way. Because like young kids now can like watch you guys and get like inspiration from that.
Right.
No one was inspiring me. No one. So it was like, drops me off at this hotel. I walk in, look like I like don't belong. Well, first she calls the girl, and she goes like, "Hey, sweetie, like I got a treat for you." Because like I wasn't like, I imagine the guys fucking these girls are pigs, rich businessmen in suits that are fat. You know what I mean? So I was just like this young college kid, right? Wasn't like buff, but
Right.
you know what I mean? I was a young college kid.
Yeah.
So she's like, "We're gonna do this one for half off, and he's not gonna have any money, but I'll just pay you like later." You know what I mean? I'll have him send money, whatever. So it was like, He's like, all right, so you need to go up to this floor, go to this room, knock on the door. Okay. So I go up the elevator. I'm nervous as fuck. I'm thinking like, am I going to get arrested?
Bro, I would be too. I'd be so nervous. I'd be thinking I'd be getting jumped. Or
dude, dude. So I'm like scared as fuck. I get to the door.
But you did it anyway. Horny is a disease. I said this on a previous podcast.
Hold on. You got to let me finish.
All right.
I get to the door. I go to knock. I don't knock because I'm sketched out. I turn to walk away.
Yeah.
And go back down to the car. Door opens up. This beautiful woman in just like a fucking lingerie thing just walks, like kind of looks out the door and goes, hey, are you, whatever fake name I had. And then I'm like, oh yeah. And she's like, come on in. And
was she really nice?
Yeah, dude. She was great. She was Brazilian, if I remember. That's what she told me. And she was very nice. It was a very good.
Yeah. So you were probably like, dude, this is fucking great.
Dude, I remember laying there. Like, I remember I walked in. And she just starts like taking my shoes off and shit. And I'd had a long day. It'd been a long month. It'd been a long life at that point. It'd been a long year. You know what I mean? I remember she just like added, like, I just had to do nothing. I'm just like, I remember sitting there and like in my brain, there was a mirror behind her.
Yeah.
Right? I remember just like looking at myself, just being like, what is life right now?
Yeah.
Oh my God, dude.
Shit just got way better.
It got way
half
better.
a second.
Yeah. And then, it was fucking incredible. So, yeah, I went back down to the car and I believed him.
Yeah. So he was a good guy then.
Yeah, he was good. And then
well, good guy, bad business, you could say.
Yeah. I mean, he took care of me though. He had no reason to.
Yeah.
I mean, I was just some like stupid white kid.
Right.
You know what I mean? What in LA.
Yeah.
And he gave enough of a fuck to like help me out. You know what I mean? And then and he took me to a comedy club, the first comedy club I ever went to. We went to
Oh, I noticed you're really into
bro,
comedy.
I love stand-up comedy.
Stand-up.
If you guys ever want to go one night, I'll get us all tickets.
Yeah, I saw you.
It's so much fun.
I saw you went to one.
It's so much fun. Yeah, that was my first time going. But we went to this comedy club.
That's interesting that he's like introduced you to something that you love now.
Dude.
Yeah.
So we go to this comedy club and it was called The Laugh Factory. It's really big out there in
Hollywood.
Yeah.
I've heard of that.
It's huge. So it was it was on a Sunday night and it was called Chocolate Sundays. Okay? So it was like all black audience, all black performers. And he walks in with me.
Yeah.
Dude, he walks in with me. And like there's a line. He hands the guy money. We just pass the line. Okay? They sit us down right in the middle. I swear I had to be the only white guy in there.
Yeah.
Had to be. And then all these comedians are coming up, funny as fuck. And then Tony Rock goes up. Chris Rock's brother.
Jeez.
Okay. Chris Rock's brother.
He goes up. He notices me and starts making jokes. He's like, dude, I remember this so clearly. He looks down and he goes, what's your name? And I'm like, Remington. He's like, that sounds like a rich white kid name.
Yeah.
He's like, what do you do? Because like, that's what they do. They try to like pull shit out of you. And what did I say?
I'm homeless.
Yeah. And he said, what do you do? And I'm like, oh, I'm in college. I think I just told him I was in college.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, like what's the degree? I'm like, I don't really know yet. He's like, yeah, you're just waiting on that trust fund money to kick in.
Yeah.
Like he's kind of roasting me. Dude, and the one joke he said, which might get me canceled in 2021, but it wasn't my joke. It was his joke about me. But it was basically like, he looks and he's like, so is this your black friend right here? And he points him out. And he's like, did your mommy get you him for Christmas? He's like, he looks like he came out the box crip walking. I was like, oh shit.
Yeah.
Oh shit.
And then everyone's laughing and shit.
Oh yeah, dude. But it was great. He didn't like roast me, but it was just like, it was just
That's
funny.
just like stand up.
But then after the show, I remember after the show, we were driving through like a Jack in the Box to get food. And Tony Rock pulls up beside us in a Lamborghini, a red one.
Yeah.
And looks over. He remembered my name. He's like, what's up, Remington?
Oh shit.
Dude, like right next to us, right in Hollywood. Dude, I haven't talked about this shit in fucking years, man. This is like, I'm like reliving this shit.
Yeah,
now.
you can tell you're getting all excited.
Holy
It's
fuck.
so fun to see.
Yeah, holy shit. So yeah, but basically like Hollywood, eventually,
How long were you out there for?
3 to 4 weeks.
Oh, what?
Damn.
Yeah.
Where'd you go after Cali?
Eventually it kind of turned into this thing where I just woke up one day and I really think I had this like, maybe it was bipolar, but I was on like this, like when I first went to Hollywood, I was on this like depressed, but like when I was depressed before Hollywood, but I got to Hollywood and I felt like the world and all these opportunities and these things kept happening. Like this dude was like these, like the stand-up comedy thing and like all that was amazing. And then like, obviously like meeting a friend and then, you know what I mean? That whole thing, like that was all incredible. But then one day I woke up and I'm like, I just want to go fucking home. Like I need my bed. I need my family. Like what am I doing
Like
out
home,
here?
home?
Yeah. Like I had nothing, dude.
Yeah.
I gave away my laptop, didn't have a phone. I had nothing. absolutely nothing. And remember, I just woke up one morning and called my mom. I was like, hey, like, I need to come home. And she's like, all right. And she called my stepbrother, got me a plane ticket. He dropped me off at the airport. I flew back. And yeah, that was my time in Cali.
Okay. So when did you start like getting into fitness? Because obviously the shit that you're doing now is all fitness related, right?
Yeah,
and
100%.
so like when did you start? Like, did you ever do bodybuilding, or like we could talk about
So
what like sparked your fitness interest?
all right, so like
Because I know you fucking train every day and you do cardio 7 days a
Every
week,
day,
right?
yeah,
Is it 6
yeah.
days a week or 7 days a week?
every day, I haven't missed a day, and I'm coming up on a year.
A year, and it's Stairmaster only, right?
Yeah, Stairmaster only, unless like when I was back home for Christmas, I did they didn't have a stair stepper, so I had to do elliptical. But if
Yeah.
I have my choice is stair stepper.
Yeah,
And I'm
that's
roasting
insane
that
because
thing.
I hate the stair stepper, bro.
Yeah, it sucks.
Yeah.
But it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, you're burning like 800 every single day.
Yeah, 800 and like 24 to be exact, like every day.
Insane, dude.
Yeah, I'm doing it, dude. The thing goes up to a 20 on speed. I'm doing it at a fucking 16. The whole
For 45 minutes,
whole 40.
40 minutes.
Whole 40. Yeah, I was doing 17. I was gonna try to push it, but like, dude, 17 gets dangerous.
Oh, really?
It's going so fast, dude. Like you'll just be
Yeah.
going, you're going, and then like I would lose. I'd crack my knee on it, and like I fell completely off of it one day. I'm like, all right, 16 is the sweet spot.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and I could tell you post your pictures, and dude, the fucking thing is so
Soaking
dude.
wet, bro. Soaking
insane.
wet. To the point where I got to bring like an extra hat. I got to bring extra shirts. I have towels in my cars because I don't want
Yeah.
to fuck the seats up.
Yeah,
Yeah, I'm fucking roasting it.
that's what you need. Towels in
For
your
what?
car.
Oh yeah. Every time I get out of there, I'm sweating like a bitch.
Mm-hmm.
But so at this point, you've gone from home, college, stepbrother's place in LA, and
Yeah.
then Hollywood,
Uh huh.
and then back home.
Yeah. So back in Ohio, and I feel like a fuck up. I look like a crazy fuck up to everybody that I've ever known. Everybody. I like moved back. I like moved in with my dad. My mom was like, didn't really want to see me because I'd fucked up so bad. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then, so I was like living with my dad, but like I moved back, and so I'm going back around my old friends, and they're all just fucking doing drugs and going crazy. So I start doing drugs and fucking going crazy, and then my mom's eventually like, all right, like you need to get out of here too. So I'm gonna move you to a different city, and you're gonna try to do the whole college thing again. So I'm okay. So she gets me this apartment in a city that's a little ways away.
Were you an only child?
Nah, I got a brother and a sister.
Okay.
I was the black sheep. My sister was the shining star.
It sounds like your mom was like really like rooting for you though.
Yeah, man. She was, and to be honest, like my mom is like the one person in my life that I'm the most grateful for, that I love to
Yeah, it
death.
sounds like
Because if it wasn't for her, dude, I'd probably be dead somewhere. For real. She went above and beyond, man. And whether that was in grade school or grade school and high school, dude, every time I got into a fight, I had all these assault charges, and she always got me a lawyer. She always
Jesus.
like was there in court for me. Yeah, and like fought for me. And she had a pretty good reputation in the city, so she like I was the stain on our family for years, man. And it's wild to think growing up that like it's wild to look back on it, because when you're in it, you don't think that way.
Right.
You don't think that that's what you were.
Yeah.
You know, but now I look back and I'm like, Jesus, man, like
They really put up with me all
dude,
that time.
everybody.
Yeah.
Everybody. So if it wasn't for my mom, I would not be where I'm at today. But
so she sent you to this new apartment.
yeah, sent me to a new spot, and she's like, all right, like I'll get you an apartment. It ain't gonna be nice. Like I'm not gonna buy you a bunch of furniture. I'll get you a couch, and you're gonna get a blow up mattress. But you need to go back to college and show me that you're gonna do something. So I go back to college. I'm in a new city. I don't know anybody, so there's no way I could like get fucked up or party or anything. So at this point, I'm really like, in a weird way, like it took me like, dude, like 6 months to even get over what had all just happened that led me to that point where like, you ever do something really fucked up and you dwell on it forever. And you're like, oh, I fucked up.
Yeah.
Like, okay. I connect it to like, you ever been at a party and you've drank too much and you've done something really, really stupid and made an ass of yourself?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, me too. So like this felt like that, but it lasted like 6 months. I felt like I was a joke. You know what I mean? Because what I did, like, he moved to, because I was posting about it on Facebook at the time before I went.
Right.
Like, and then if
Yeah.
anybody's talking, they're like, what's going on with him? Well, he moved to Cal, then I have to move back. I don't have any shit anymore.
Yeah. And they're like,
Dropped
he's
out
coming
of,
back.
Dropped out of college back when college was like the only thing you could do.
Right.
All my friends are in college and I'm out. You know what I mean?
So it was just unheard of.
Yeah. So it was like, I went back to another community college, was trying to do that. And then just wasn't studying. And I remember telling my mom, like, I don't think I want to do this. She's like, well, you need to get a job then. So I remember applying for these jobs at like Finish Line and like Foot Locker and stuff.
Yeah, because you're big into shoes.
Yeah. And I'd go to, and I'd go to like the interviews, but my sleep schedule was about like what yours is right now.
Okay.
Wake up at like,
3-ish, 2.
yeah. 3. And then go to bed at like, so I remember I had like an interview at like 10 a.m. or 9 a.m. or something. And like, I didn't even go to, like, dude, I was going to bed at like 11 in the morning.
Yeah.
So I'm waking up at like 9 at night. It was so bad. So I remember I went to this interview and she's asking me like, do you have job experience? And I was such an idiot. Like, no. Like, so I couldn't get hired anywhere.
Right.
I'm like, well, I need a job, I need a job. So I went to the gas station down the street and was like, hey, like, I need a job. And dude, like, to work at a gas station, I mean, if anybody works at a gas station, it's, it's not a bad job, but it's like the bar's not very high.
Right.
So they hired me like right away. Because at the time I was like, do you have college? Because it was like, do you have college experience? I'm like, yes. I was like the only one with college experience.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So,
You're the manager.
yeah.
You're the manager.
Yeah. So it was like they hired me at the gas station, and honestly, I got like it was like this was my chance to like prove myself to my family. You know what I mean? Like, okay, I need to hold down a job. Like let's get our shit back on track. This is like the one thing I have that I can do good at. So
wait, so just this was 6 months into you going back to college, roughly?
Yeah, roughly.
And you said that after coming home from Hollywood, you kind of got back into drugs, right?
I did. So that was a brief period because I'm living back in my hometown and the college town. So you've heard of Athens, OU.
Yeah.
Like the #1 party city, or party college in fucking the US. That is right down the street from my hometown.
Okay.
So like all my friends were there.
Right.
So dude, you would go down there any night and find a party. People popping pills, drinking, smoking every night. It was just a nonstop party down there. So it was like when I'm that close, and then my dad's not like doesn't have a leash on me. You know what I mean? So I'm like, I'm gonna go see some friends. Boom, right down there. There's beer, there's whatever. So it was like that was only like a couple weeks, and then my mom's like, all right, like you're gonna do the same thing again if you keep doing this.
Yeah.
So we're gonna get you in a different city. Like I need to get you out of this. So took me back to so we're in the new place, new city, job at the gas station, and I started it, and it was like I took a lot of pride in what I did. I was like, I'm gonna do this job better than like anybody here, right? It wasn't that hard. So we started doing it, and then like I remember I got mystery shopped once. So they had a guy come in, and he would like a fake employee or a fake consumer, fake customer. He'd come in and he'd be like, make sure you did your job right. So he'd like come up with one thing of candy, and you had to be like, hey, those are 2 for $3, right?
Yeah.
And then you had to upsell him and do all this shit.
Okay.
So I upselled like the shit out of this guy, and I got us like 100% rating on our customer thing, and just real proud of my job. And then they offered to give me an assistant. They were gonna upgrade me or promote me to assistant manager. So I was like about to do that, and I'm like, okay, this is going good. And then one day a guy comes in, and then I'm upselling him on some shit, and he goes, "You're really good at this. Do you like working here?" I'm like, yeah, it's fine. He's like, well, we're hiring down at Radio Shack, back when Radio Shack was a thing. He's like, so it's all about selling. So if you want to come down here, put an application in, we'll see what's going on. So went to Radio Shack, put an application in, got hired at Radio Shack, and their big thing was like selling cell phones.
Yeah.
So like I go there, it's cell phones and everything. And you like, people don't know this, but like Radio Shack, you made commission. So like, you could sell a cell phone, make $30, $40 for every phone you sold.
Damn.
Yeah.
It's like Best Buy. Like I'm pretty sure Best Buy has that as well.
Really?
They used to. I think it's gone now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, Best Buy quit paying commission. But anytime you go to buy a cell phone at like a corporate
They have that
store,
with cars.
yeah, cars.
Yeah.
But they have it with cell phones. But like, I don't think like Best Buy is just goofy.
Okay.
Yeah, Best Buy. I think Best Buy is just literally like the money you make them is just so you don't get fired. Like,
right.
Yeah, it's kind of goofy. But so I got a job at Radio Shack, started selling cell phones, and like I realized like I was a really good salesman. So like I'm doing the Radio Shack thing, super proud of my job, super fun. But one day, right before I got the job at Radio Shack, on one of the final days, this kid from high school came in, and he invites me to this. He's like, "Hey, how you doing, man?" I'm like, "Good, dude. I haven't seen you. We used to be in alternative school together, which is when you get in a lot of trouble in high school and they'd send you to a different school. Yeah. We'd be in there together. Always liked the kid. Didn't know him that well. He's like, yeah, man. I've just been working, da-da-da. He's like, what are you doing tonight? We're having a little party at my house. So I'm like, well, friends, thank God. Yeah. Social time. So I go to his house, and I remember I walk in, and it's a party, but there was like no alcohol. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what is going on? Like, how are we partying? Everybody's doing Percocets. Percocet 30s. Yeah. And then they talk me into doing Percocet 30s. And
you addicted?
Oh yeah. Bad.
Tough.
So you were 20 at this point?
Yeah, probably 20. 20. 20. Maybe still even 19. I was young, dude. I graduated at 17 years old. I didn't turn 18. I mean, I think I turned 18 literally right before I went to college. So yeah, 19 and a half, 20. I mean, yeah, 20. So yeah, like literally right before I got the Radio Shack job was when Percocets grabbed a hold of me pretty bad. And if there's one thing I'll say about like Percocet addiction and all that, I've lost, because dude, Ohio where I'm from is like, that's a problem. Percocets, Oxycontin, that shit's a fucking problem. So it's like, if there's one thing I can say about my time with it, is that I never stole from anybody. I never lied. I never, I would go pawn my own shit to get money to buy drugs. But I never did anything to fuck anybody over.
Yeah.
And I'm really proud of that. Like,
well, that is good, because a lot of former drug addicts will say that you're not thinking straight when your body is telling you that if you don't get this drug, you're going to die.
Yeah.
Right? Because that's literal withdrawal.
100%.
Like your body's telling you, it's like food. Your body's going to tell you you're going to die if you don't eat.
Yeah.
Once you get dependent on a certain drug, your body's literally telling you the same thing for that drug. So a lot of good moral people do end up like stealing from their own parents, or, stealing from other people just so that they can get their fix.
well, it's like, dude, withdrawals for one are terrible. Withdrawals are the worst thing you'll ever.
So what do they feel like?
Dude, it's hard to.
Because I know there's different symptoms with each one.
Yeah. Hardcore opiate withdrawals. I mean, heroin's obviously the worst, they say. But opiate withdrawals are like, I remember that when I was withdrawing, like, because what it starts as is you do a pill and you feel so good. You literally feel incredible. You got confidence. You feel good. You feel like all your pain melts away. And these were like, not like, I mean, have you guys ever taken a Percocet?
Yeah.
No,
Well, I've taken,
so.
I've megadose hydrocodone.
Okay.
Because I had it for my like knee surgery, and when I was a kid, I would fucking take a bunch.
Okay.
Like when I was at parties and stuff.
Well, because there's different versions of it. Like a lot of them, you get like a Vicodin or like a Perk 5 or something.
Yeah.
They're like loaded with acetaminophen, so it's like a Tylenol with
Yeah.
a tiny bit of codeine in it. What I'm talking are these tiny little pills, super tiny, and it's like
But
all
they're
all
loaded
codeine.
with Percocet.
Loaded, 30 milligrams.
Yeah.
So yeah, you could,
Jeez.
dude. I remember you could get a V cut, an M cut. They had 3 different manufacturers. You get V's, you could get M's, or you could get. There was one more, but like the V's kind of sucked. They still worked, but they kind of sucked. But the M's were like, I think the M's are the ones you wanted. But yeah, so you get this tiny little pill, fuck you up, right? And I remember like you could get one back in the day, and you'd pay $30 a pill for them. $30 for one pill, $1 a milligram, and you would like split it with your dude. So he'd be like, yeah, because the thing was like. I met this dude. I didn't realize he was a full-blown addict at this point. Like full-blown when I first met him. I didn't know. You're like, he's nice. He's fun to hang out with. We're having fun. And then he'd be like, here, you got any money? Like, we'll go half on a pill. I'm like, okay, well, this is cool because I can still drive. I'm not going to fill a breathalyzer. I can still whatever. And I feel good. And the thing with pills for me was that like when I would do them, they'd put a lot of other people down, like downshift them. But for me, it was like, dude, it was like an upper for me. I'd get so happy. I could go do whatever. And I just felt so good. But like you would split like a 15, right? And then you'd go a couple of days and not do them. And he'd be like, hey, you want to party? He'd be like, yeah, you show up, you do them again. And then I remember it was just one day, people were talking about withdrawals, but I never felt anything bad. And then it was just like, just one of these days, I'm sitting there, hadn't done one. And I'm like, why do I feel like shit? I'm like, holy fuck, I'm withdrawing.
So when it was at the worst?
Yes.
What symptoms did you have? Was it just like fatigue?
Well,
and just
so fatigue for sure. You can't sleep. Your legs are so restless. You're rolling over. Like you can't, I'm telling you, like sleep is such a hard thing to get. But the worst part is your whole body aches and hurts. And then for me, it was lower back pain. Like you ever had a lower back pump in the gym?
Oh, I hate it.
We were talking about that the other day.
Yeah, permanent all day.
Oh,
like it doesn't go away.
That is fucking awful.
And you are freezing cold no matter how warm it is. I remember being at work and just like freezing cold, and we had to wear short sleeve shirts, and it's middle of summer and they just have the air conditioning on. I am freezing cold and shivering. And it's like all you wanted to do was just like you had no energy to do anything, no motivation. And when I finally got off everything, it took a month before withdrawals went away.
Okay.
Full month, totally clean. But
so
cold turkey?
Yeah, was it cold turkey?
Okay, so basically what ended up happening, worked at Radio Shack, ended up getting a job at Sprint selling cell phones for a while. And at Sprint, I was an OG. I won Salesman of the Year like two years in a row.
Damn.
So like, yeah, I was crushing it, but I was high as fuck the entire time I did it.
Okay.
Dude, I mean, because it was
Off perk?
Off perks.
Okay.
Because, dude, I was making
That's probably why you were selling so much.
Yeah, dude.
You felt no anxiety.
nothing.
Just
I could
pure
talk, and I was
charisma.
just in great mood, dude. I'm telling you, when I was on perks, I was like invincible. So it was like, I remember like, dude, we had such a system going because like in this group of people, because like, dude, it's when you're doing drugs like that, the entire group of people you're hanging out with they're all doing drugs.
Yeah.
They're all dealing. They're all looking for drugs every day. And I probably had the most money of everybody because Sprint, like to them, me working at Sprint was like me working a corporate banking job or some shit.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because none of them had jobs, dude. They had like food stamps and shit. That was just the culture. People were selling you their food stamp card for like, they'd go, hey, there's $100 on food stamp card. You give me $50.
Damn.
Type of shit people are doing to get their drugs. So,
and you were showing up to work in a nice button-up shirt.
Yeah.
With a tie.
Yeah.
That's a high-up job.
yeah. And then, you know, and I'd like, and then one thing was, I remember like some of my drug dealers, like, shit would happen. Dude, there was like, yeah, dude, I have so many trap houses. But like, you'd go in and I remember like, my reputation was so good with all the dealers. Like, when it was time, like when I would run out of money, but I needed my fix, they'd front me shit because like,
They knew you were good for it.
because you could trust Remy, what they would say. Remy's good for it. Remy will get you. So like I had a good relationship with all these people, but dude, you watched them all slowly get like. I remember just one day you wake up like, what happened to so and so? Like their house got raided.
Jeez.
Or dude, like leaving a house, getting pulled over by the cops, and having like 6 pills on me and having to swallow all of them. Them knowing what I did there, like knowing why I left, swallowing everything, getting searced.
That happened
Like,
to you?
Oh yeah, oh yeah.
Were you high as fuck?
Yeah, when I got home.
Or did you puke it up?
I was high as fuck when I got home. Yeah, could have killed me though. I've overdosed once.
So what
I'll get to that later.
Okay.
I'll get to that later. So the 2 times I got pulled over by cops. One, because the thing is, man, when you're doing fucking pills and you're withdrawing, it's okay. Imagine you have the worst flu you've ever had in your life, and you know that you can take one little thing, and not only is that flu gonna go away and your back pain's gonna go away,
You're going to feel fucking
you're
great.
gonna be soaring.
Yeah.
The rest of your night is solid. You could go sit on the couch and the rest of your night's fucking great.
Jeez.
Like, so
I mean, I can see why it's so alluring to people because even you talking about it now, obviously I'm not going to go do it, but there's a part of me that's like, damn, that just must be amazing.
Yeah.
And then there's another part of me that's like, never
Withdrawals.
fucking
Yeah, for real.
Withdrawals don't
Never-
sound fucking amazing.
Never
Yeah.
fucking do that because I feel like I would just be the type of person that would justify it in my own head why I should like.
Nah, dude, it's
I can just take another one. I'm making money anyway. What does it matter?
Yeah.
You know,
it's a big.
I can never fuck around with that.
Yeah,
Go
it's I recommend no one does.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a big mind fuck because like even though it was amazing and like the feeling and everything, it's just like, I mean, dude, do you know how much money I just wasted? I was making like, you know, I mean, back in the day, how old was I at this time? Maybe when things were really popping off when I was working at Sprint making good money. I think I was 21 probably when I was like at the height of all this. And I remember like drug dealers would like, I would have them delivered to me at work because I would pay extra to have that done. Like, hey, put me at the front of your list because they were hard to find for a while because they were cracking down. People were getting arrested. People were getting raided. They were so hard to find. So it was like the price went up to $35 a pill. I'd be like, hey, like I would get because you would get your monthly pay or your biweekly pay. Then at the end of every month, you'd get a commission check.
Use the bathroom real quick, but you can keep talking because I can hear you.
Go ahead, big dog. So I would get my commission check, and it was always like, back then it was like $2,000. And it was nice, $2,000, $2,500. And that would come, hit him up, be like, hey, I'm going to need like 30 pills. Can you bring them to me at work? And it's like at the end of the month when the commission check comes. So I'm like, legit, like the last few days of the month, I remember it was always sketchy. I'm like withdrawing. I'm feeling terrible. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it'd be like, dude, and they would come in, dude.
So you're taking one a day?
Dude, I my highest, it was 3 or 4 30s a day.
Fuck.
Yeah, bro. I know.
So did you build up like a tolerance to it?
Oh, yeah.
Like you do with alcohol?
It's like anything.
Everything else?
It's like anything.
Okay.
Yeah, because it goes from like, if you did a whole 30 to yourself, it was like, if you had 130, your whole night was set. Then it gets to like, you need 2. Then it gets to like, you need 3.
Yeah.
Then you need 4 if you're trying to match that feeling, which is how people overdose.
Yeah.
You get to a point where like, you think your body, you know what I mean? You're craving that initial high.
You don't know. You don't know. It's like you're blind.
Yeah. So it was, yeah, they would do. I remember that you could go out back and smoke at work. And I was smoking cigarettes back then. So it was like, there was this door into the back alley. I'd go out back and smoke. Car would pull up, hand me something. I'd hand them money, put it in my pocket, go back into the bathroom, do a fucking line off the back of the fucking.
Yeah. Oh, you snorted the
every time.
Every time?
Every time.
Because so if you, because I know with Adderall at least, sometimes like I'll, if I want it to hit my system, you know, I'll just like snort the Adderall. It goes straight into the bloodstream.
Same thing,
Whether or
bro.
not I take a pill, it takes a lot longer.
Right. Yeah, dude, fucking every
So
time.
straight, super high, like right away.
Dude, yeah. And it's one of the things, I mean, it takes like 2 minutes. I mean,
Yeah.
It's one of those things though, you get like, when you're deep into it, like you love the taste of it too.
That's weird. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure it's super bitter.
Fuck yeah, it's terrible.
Yeah.
But it's like you end up loving it. You're like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean?
It's like alcohol.
Oh yeah, bro. It's wild. Because like a lot of it's the anticipation of knowing that you're about to just feel really good. You know what I mean? And then when you have all this stock, dude, you're like, okay, fuck it. You half now, go out, sling some phones, get a nice big sale, go back to the bathroom, do it again. Like you're just fucking everybody. But like no one, I ran that job and no one ever knew that I was just completely, I mean, because, okay, I'm gonna call it what it is. Like a lot of people that were on pills around me would nod off, get tired. Dude, I was just up.
Okay.
So for me, it was like, it was almost like doing coke.
It was like maybe like an anti-anxiety type of thing.
Oh, for sure.
Where you were super,
So
like almost like Xanax. Like if for someone who's super anxious and then you take like a Xanax.
So in retrospect, when I look back on all this, I think that what I was doing back then was I had all that shit that had happened that I broke down in this video that I never really came to terms with, never really talked to anybody about, felt like a failure, all this shit. And I think I was just, they talk about like self-medicating, but I think that I was just had so much anxiety and so much just fucking, I just didn't love myself. And like, I just medicated myself. Because the only times I remember back then being happy was when I was fucked up. Only time. And I think that's where like, because I have sympathy for people that are addicts, man. Because it's like, you know, I've been there, and it's like, dude, like if that's all you got, that shit sucks. And like I'm pretty mentally strong, you know. Like I quit cold turkey, but it's like, dude, it was hard.
Yeah.
That shit was really fucking hard.
Yeah, and for people that like I see drug addicts, and it's just like I don't see someone who has low willpower, because obviously I'm sitting in front of someone who is fucking killing it and probably one of the hardest workers that I know. So clearly you were born with high willpower, but it's not really a conscious decision to go take more Percocet. Is your body is telling you fucking need this or you're going to die. So it's like you kind of have to have sympathy, because it's like they're not choosing to do this, and a lot of people don't like the fact that they do it. They're like crying at the fact that they're addicts, but they still need to take more drugs.
Well, and dude, and in the way that I try to frame it up is like, that's why at the beginning of this I said like I never stole from anybody, I never cheat. You know what I mean? It never was a point where I'm like stealing money out of cash registers or fucking anybody over.
You were honest.
Yeah, never once. So it's like, you know, I think that at the point where we start like getting down on people that are abusing drugs is when they're fucking other people up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like if I was out here stealing and doing shit, I kept my moral compass the entire time. But it's, dude, like going through withdrawals and like that urge and that, dude, I mean, there's times, man, where like I'd wake up. I remember waking up on like a day where I was off work. And as soon as I woke up, when I was at the worst of my addiction, the first thought I had was pull out the phone, start texting people, see who's got something. You know? And if I could wake up and it was a sunny day in the middle of summer and I could drive over, secure a fucking pill, do it, hang out there for 30 minutes, bullshit, have fun, leave, and just have the rest of the day to just be high as fuck. That was just like the best feeling in the world. I'm bumping Lil Wayne, driving in my car, windows are down, like fucking felt invincible. You know? It's, yeah. And then basically I got to a point where, so I got pulled over and searched the one time, and I swallowed 6 pills. And dude, I remember, this is how drug addicts are, man. I had this dude in the passenger seat with me who I thought was a friend. We talk about snakes in the grass and shit.
Right.
Dude, if you want to meet a bunch of them, do drugs.
Yeah.
Well, don't do drugs,
sure.
but you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah.
So it was like, I remember we get pulled over and cops are coming, and every pill you get caught with is a felony charge.
Separately.
Yeah, separately. At least that's how it was in Ohio. So like, I remember we got pulled over, had them, and I was like, well, fuck, like I ain't getting in trouble. Just swallowed them real quick before the cop got to the car. And then pulls us out. Like, we know what house you were leaving. They're known for yada, yada, yada. You know what I mean? And because nothing was scarier, dude. We're at the house. And then people that pulled up, like, dude, you got cops outside watching the place. And everybody's like, fuck. You know what I mean? Because a lot of people in there got warrants and shit.
Yeah.
So, yeah, pulls me over. And then, like, I don't have nothing. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and search the car. Go right ahead. There's nothing in there. You know what I mean? So, yeah, let me go that time. Remember, like, as soon as we got back in the car, my friend was mad at me. Drug addict talk. Because like, man, you could have just tried to hide him in the cup or something.
Yeah.
Like, I'm like, and risk 6 felonies.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah. You know what I mean? And risk, so like, yeah, motherfucker. And then I think he ended up like breaking into my apartment and stealing a bunch of my shit.
Wow.
Yeah. And
Fuck
pawning
that
it
guy.
for drugs.
Wow.
Yeah, dude, he's been in jail multiple times. And yeah, he's fucked up. Everybody hates him. Yeah. I won't name drop him here because I'm nice. But the second time I got pulled over and what made me quit pills was
So this was your turning point right here.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, so it was I I left work one day and I needed pills. So I met this dude, and it got to a point where what I would do. So have you ever heard of Suboxone?
No.
So Suboxone's what you take. They give it to drug addicts to come off of.
Okay.
Because it blocks your withdrawals.
So it's like methadone for heroin. 100%. Okay.
Yeah, same thing. Except what they don't tell you is that the Suboxone is just fucking another way to get high.
Yeah, you can get hooked on methadone pills too.
Yeah. So like when I did the Suboxone and came off, those withdrawals were worse than the Percocet withdrawals.
The fuck?
Yeah, dude. I'm like, okay, what is this? They just got you trapped in this system.
Yeah.
So but I was leaving work, and it was one of those things where I was like, gonna go get a pill. And I got to a point where what I was doing, if I knew I was getting to a point where like I was running out of money, I would buy my pills at one place, then I'd go to another person that got prescribed Suboxone, and then I would buy Suboxone off of them, and I could take Suboxone and like just kind of spread them out, just take a little bit each day, and it would keep the withdrawals away. Yeah. So I would do that, and so I went to my one place, got my pills. Gonna have a fun weekend, and then I think Monday was gonna hit, and it was like a little bit towards the end of the month. I wasn't gonna get paid again, so it was like I had the Suboxone to ride out because I was pretty strategic with how I did it. Because like I can't be withdrawing at work,
Right?
You know what I mean? So I went, got my pills, swirled around, went and was picking up the Suboxone, and it was in a trailer park where I was at. The dude that was dealing, I mean,
That's a scary scene.
ironic, but the Suboxone dealer was in the trailer park. So I pull up, and in this trailer park there was like a map of the facility. You know what I mean? You could look at. So I'm parked in front of that. Dude rides up on a bike, hands me my shit. And it was one of those things like once I knew I had the Suboxone, I was like, great. Like, can't wait to get home. So I was like, I pulled out a CD case. I was like, I'm going to do a pill right now before I leave. Break this pill up on a CD case. I see a cop drive by me. I'm like, fuck. I'm like, I need to get out of here. You know what I mean? So I didn't even do the pill. And it like dumped on the side of my seat. Whip a Yui. Go to get out. Cops right behind me. Fuck. Get on the road. I'm driving. I'm like, okay, play it cool, play it cool, fucking lights.
Oh no.
I'm like, holy shit, swallow everything again. So it was like, but fucking, so I swallowed like, I think I had like maybe 4 Percocet and then like 3 Suboxone. So I'm just combining them. Like, you know what I mean? Like you take the Percocet, like they clash. So I swallow everything. And then cop rolls up, like, what are you doing there? And I'm just like, what did I say? I was like, dude, this is my excuse. I said, we were thinking about coming here to play basketball, and I was trying to find the basketball court on the map. And he's like, get the fuck out of the car.
Yeah.
So I get out of the car, and then another cop car pulls up, and it was a dude that was a customer at Sprint where I was working. Like, how's it going, man? Yeah, I just work right down the street at the Sprint store. He's like, yep, okay, cool. Didn't give a fuck. Other officers in my passenger seat with a flashlight. Pills spilled all over my seat.
Oh no.
He goes, what's that white powder on your seat? And I go, I think it's creatine. Swear to God. Because I wasn't really going to the gym, but I had like.
That's honestly,
just knew what it was.
Yeah, but like
Did he buy it?
Well, I wasn't going to the gym, but like I knew what creatine was because like I would go for like a week and then like never go back.
Yeah,
I'd go buy all the supplements and go for a week, never go back.
Yeah.
So he didn't buy it. So he goes, well, I'm gonna test it. And we're gonna find out, and I might be taking you to jail tonight.
Right.
Fucking scared, dude. So he walks back to my car, and my heart was like, I was like, this is it. Like, he's going to test that. I'm fucked. Like, I'm going to get a felony tonight. Like, my family thinks I'm doing so good. No one has any idea I'm on drugs. Dude, I hid this so well.
Yeah.
I was with my high school sweetheart. She lived with me. Had no idea I was on drugs. No one did. I was just like, I hid it so well. Like, it was fucking crazy. So I was like, literally at that moment, I was thinking that like my life was like over. Like, fucking felony. You're going to go to jail. You're going to lose your job. This job that you love, that you like finally gave you some sort of like sense of purpose. And I remember he goes over, he fucking tests it, comes back, and he goes, well, the test didn't show up nothing, but I never want to see you in this side of town again. Get out of here.
So did the test not show up anything because it was Suboxone but not Percocet?
No, it was Percocet I was doing.
And that's what was crushed up?
Yeah.
I wonder what happened with his test.
I know.
Probably just
grace of God.
Yeah.
But that was, I remember leaving there because, I mean, to go from a point, I don't know if you guys have ever had a moment like this in your life where you think you're about to like get into some serious trouble.
Yes.
Yes.
I have one. It's not nearly as serious.
Yeah.
Not nearly as serious, but I was probably 14 or 15. It's when I first started smoking weed, just because everyone in high school was smoking weed. I was just trying to be part of like the clique, right? And my parents obviously didn't know that I was smoking at that point. They would have been very pissed. And I had like I had this like Rasta. I don't know why it was Rasta. It was like the worst colors ever. Like knapsack that had all my shit in it, like bongs, a bunch of weed, a bunch of hash, like bowls, steamrollers. Like I was in a group of people, and this cop pulls up next to the group and kind of flags us down and is just like, wait right here. And then he calls me specifically out of the group and comes up, or I walk up to his car and he asks me what's in the bag. And I don't even remember what I said, but I just made some shit up. But at the time, dude, all I was thinking about was like, if my parents find out about this, I'm so fucked. And then he's like, he bought my story and he just said, oh, you guys were walking in the road. You should definitely walk on the sidewalk. And then he just drove off. But I know that just like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, he's about to find it. Yeah. Well, but it was definitely more serious in your case.
Yeah, no. It's I call those turning point moments where it's like that one, like you're kind of going about your day, everything's on autopilot, and then you reach this pivotal point where it's just like everything could change.
Yeah.
Like your entire, like me almost getting in a car accident today. Like, holy fuck. So it's like, yeah, that happens. And then I'm like driving home, dude, and I feel terrible. Because I popped everything I had on me, fucking Suboxone and the fucking pills, and I'm just like, and I'm calling another dealer of mine. I'm just leaving this place, calling another dealer to get more Suboxone. Because in my head I go, I'm done with pills. I'm done with all this. I need Suboxone because I'm gonna do a taper down type thing.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm gonna taper down off of it, and I'm gonna come off this cold turkey. Because I was like, that would just like lit me up, and I'm like, because dude, I'm fucking making good money for my age at the time, and I'm like, I have no money. I'm good, dude. I remember, and this was like literally, this happened right before this, so it was kind of like a lot of things kind of all at once. I'm just realizing how shitty my life was. But I went, and I've always been a big video gamer. Like I love Xbox, right? And I had no money for pills, and I went to the pawn shop and pawned my Xbox. Gave me like $60 for it. I was able to get a couple pills. Did them. Went back to my house, and I was all excited because I was going to play this new game I bought. I go to sit down on my couch, and I look, and my Xbox isn't there.
All right.
And I'm like, you pawned it.
Yeah, that's fucked.
Yeah. And I was like, and that was just like a fucking, and then I think it was only a few days later, this other shit happened. So it was like,
you're like, I'm done.
Yeah. And I'm like, I'm out of here, man. So I got more Suboxone, and then basically went home with that. Felt terrible. Fucking felt awful. So like, I'd started this regimen where I would take, because back then Suboxone came in pills, but they also came in strips. Suboxone strips. It's probably funny because if there's anybody that's been into drugs listening to this, they're gonna be like, "Fuck, this guy knows his shit."
Yeah.
So I had these strips, and I would take them, and I would cut them like in half. I would take like half for a day, and I did that for like a week.
Yeah.
And then I would do like a quarter of one for another week.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because I researched this like protocol and how you should do it on milligram dosages and shit. So
damn, I did strategic, man.
Yes, strategic. And then I went, so I went all the way down to where the point where like I had one strip left, and I was cutting tiny little bits of like the corner off, and I stretched a strip out for like a week and a half. And even that little tiny little strip still kept it at bay. And then I remember like right as I fully came off everything, it just fucking hit me like dude, you're surfing and just that wave just fucking smashes you, dude. And it was the worst withdrawals. Like when I was talking to you about like the back pain, and the fucking, I mean, that's how all withdrawal is, but it was like that, just as bad as it could get. It was terrible. And I remember going into work and sitting there. We had these like kind of high top stools behind the counter, and I would just sit there freezing in pain, just like.
How were you making sales? Like, were you?
I mean, I wasn't doing good, but it was like if people came in, I'd help them, but I was letting like other people go ahead of me and just like, you handle it, you do this, you do that.
Well, I had someone that I won't say who they were, but their doctor prescribed them some sort of opiate, or I think it was a benzo. So another highly addictive medication. And if you actually look into the research on this, you should only take it for like 2 weeks max. But they prescribed it to this person for, I think, 2-3 years. Damn. And it was a benzo.
Yeah.
And when they tried to come off, they couldn't. So it ended up taking them 2 years of weaning their way off, to the point where, I mean, these were only single pills. And this person would be... They would start for like 2 months. It would just be like 9/10 of one pill where they would just scrape off a little bit. And then the next 2-3 months would be 8/10 of one pill where they'd scrape off a little bit more. And the next 3 months, 7/10 of one pill, like the smallest amount. And they would notice it each time. Like, damn, going from 8/10 to 7/10, I feel worse. So it's no fucking joke.
Yeah.
Well,
Yeah.
it's
Insane.
insane. I mean, you get your body chemically addicted to anything. I mean, coming off of pills and shit was like, I just didn't know how to be happy. Like, and I remember it took me a month to feel normal. And, dude, I was with my high school sweetheart. We got together when I was a sophomore in high school. We were together all the way up through this. And then, we split up. Yeah, dude, that was another thing. Me and my girlfriend had split up right when I came off of, like right before I quit everything.
So everything just comes crashing
Everything
down.
comes crashing down. Yeah. So, I remember I had that month where it was like, I was just coming off everything and I felt like I had nothing. Like all my old friends I was staying away from because all my friends were just drug dealers and drug addicts.
Yeah.
So like I need new friends. And at the time, like towards the end of my like addiction, I was super into this like MMORPG. So it's like a World of Warcraft basically, but it's the Star Wars version of it.
Okay.
And so I'm playing that all the time. And that's when my girlfriend left me. It wasn't because she knew I was on drugs. She had no idea. Because like at the end of it, all I was doing was getting high after work, going into this room and fucking playing this video game.
Yeah.
That's all I was doing. Like very bad. So I have a very addictive personality. But basically everything culminated. I got to the end where like my withdrawals were basically over and I'm trying to play this game and I literally can't play it. Cause I'm just like, what am I doing?
Yeah.
I don't have a girlfriend. I'm fat as fuck. I'm eating like shit. I have no self-confidence. I have no friends. Nothing's going on. And then my brother texted me, and I remember it was February 1st. It's because I remember like I posted on Facebook, like, I'm going to start my New Year's resolution 1 month late. So it's February 1st. And he goes, hey, you want to hit the gym? I'm like, sure, man. Like, why not? So
You were 23 at this point, 22?
Yeah, probably. 22, 23. And then, so we went to the gym, and I remember we go in, 23, 24 maybe. Yeah, something like that. So, we go to the gym, and like my whole life, I'd always been stronger than my brother. But from all the drugs, terrible diet, and literally just playing a video game this outside of work,
Right.
Dude, like I was such a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
Such a fucking bitch.
Yeah.
I mean, like 135 was hard to bench.
Well, 135 is pretty good for someone who's been wasting away on Percocet and video games.
Yes.
It's not bad.
Yeah, and dude, my diet was such bullshit. I'm talking like back then, dude, it was because everything was about the addiction. So it was like, if you've ever been around an addict, once they do their drugs, they're not eating again for the rest of the day, unless it's hours later and way later, because anytime you eat, it fucks your buzz up. So I would like cram food in right before, and if I'm doing drugs all day, I'm just not eating all day. So like, not only are days I'm in like a calorie deficit, but I'm like in such a deficit and not lifting and not eating protein that I was just skinny fat.
Yeah,
as
your
fuck.
metabolism's just fucking shot.
Just goddamn nightmare. So I went to the gym. I remember walking in there and we lifted, and like I felt terrible about it, but I felt really good. Like it was something I could do. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And I was like, well, fuck it. I'm just gonna try to get jacked.
Yeah.
Why not? You lifted in high school and shit.
Yeah.
And basically from there, my addiction was replaced with the gym.
There you go.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so it was like, then it became like, all right, I'm going to the gym every fucking day. Like every fucking day. I'm
Gotta get your fix.
Yeah. And then I got like hooked to the diet shit, and I'm like, I'm going to do a meal plan every day. Like, and I just got into this, like, I found a way to like, I was like, shit, you guys are young, so I don't know if you get the reference, but like in Indiana Jones, there's like the cup on the pedestal with the pressure
Yeah, you
plate.
replaced it. Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like as soon as I found the gym, it was like everything just flipped around. It was like, okay, like sitting around all day feeling like shit and like having my head all fucked up and not feeling good. Like, okay, now I'm doing something. I'm accomplishing something. And then dude, I remember it only took like, I like did some research and like broke down a meal plan for myself and started like actually eating like the chicken, rice, and broccoli and the eggs and the oatmeal and all that shit. I remember like I did that and it only took like a month, and I started having abs for like the first time in my life.
Yeah.
I had abs.
And then you're hooked.
Yeah.
And then
Well,
I'm like,
if you have that type of like addictive personality, that's going to transfer so easily over
To, like, gains.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
Because especially, okay, if you're addicted to drugs, you're not going to notice any progress at all. But when you're addicted to the gym, not only are you addicted to like the endorphin release, but you're also addicted to like, damn, the more addicted I get to this, the more gains I see. So you actually see this like light at the end of the tunnel,
Right.
and you're like, you see progress day by day, and
Well,
it's just you get hooked.
well, you realize there's like, there's input and output. Like what you put into it directly, you're going to get out of it, right? There's actually like a return on the investment. So it was like, and it was just, I remember like, I had like because I went into it just like feeling like a fuck. I had no confidence, off a drink, I mean, just all this shit. And then I remember I started getting abs. My arm started shaping up. I was getting a little tricep, little shoulder pop. I'm posting some pictures. getting some love on Facebook. I'm used to posting and I get like one like from my grandma. You know what I mean? And now I'm posting a picture of my shirt off and girls are liking it and shit.
Yeah.
And I'm like, ooh, here comes some confidence.
Right.
Okay. Like, and then, I just went balls deep into fitness after that. And then, I would say I lifted for probably a couple years, natural, and then, would go through these cuts and get lean. I did a couple photo shoots and, and I just kind of became like in town. It was funny because I started building like my identity up around fitness. So like I'm on Facebook posting like, guys, you can do it too. I take a picture of all my meals prepped out. It's that easy. And I'm starting to get love from it. And people are like liking it and shit.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, holy fuck.
So your family must have been like showing you more love at this point. Kind of like, damn, Rem's turning himself around.
Not really.
Really?
Not really. Well, for one, my family never knew about my drugs.
That is true.
Okay.
That's true.
So they knew about my drugs back when, like, in the early days.
Yeah.
But dude, I held down a job. I was getting Salesman of the Year awards.
Okay, that's fair. So in their eyes, you were already pretty successful.
Yeah,
you
exactly.
had the sales job,
Exactly.
but they didn't know anything about
And then
all
he
the
just
perks.
picked up. He just picked up.
Right,
like, this
right,
hobby.
right. Okay.
Yeah.
Makes
So
sense.
the gym though, they actually at first they like didn't understand it. I mean, I remember we went on a family vacation and I showed up, was lean, had abs, and was like so proud of myself. But like I was still dieting, so I'm like, well, I can't eat that with you guys. And I remember like getting some shit from them, like, oh, just eat it. Like, come on.
Right.
Classic like fit shaming.
Yeah, exactly. So it was like, and then I remember it was like around this time, so I'm doing all this, and then I'm like getting on Instagram, and I'm seeing other people that are in fitness, and I'm seeing they're selling like training plans and coaching and shit. And I'm like kind of getting on YouTube a little bit, and I'm like, you could make a living at this,
Right.
and I was looking at that, but I wasn't like all in on it, or it was just kind of in my head. I was seeing it happen, but I wasn't going to pull the trigger on it. And then it just happened at Sprint. One of these months, where I was working, it just so happened that the towers in our city had went down. So like we didn't have like our Sprint service was like shit for like a month. So I ended up getting promoted to a senior sales rep. They offered me multiple manager positions, but I like didn't want to take one because I was making so much commission. It would have been like probably less pay as a manager.
Right.
And I'd have to go to a different, I lived right down the street from the store. It was so just fucking convenient.
Yeah.
I clocked out and I was out. You know what I mean? All the managers that they hired like fucking quit. So it was like, I was a senior sales rep. And with that, I had to sell like a fuck ton of phones every month. I had a minimum in order to get my commission. Towers are out. Everybody's posting about it on Facebook. No one's coming in to buy new Sprint phones. No one can recommend it. We're getting a ton of customer complaints. And it was, so 1 month for the first time ever while I'm working at Sprint, I didn't get a commission check. They didn't pay me. I was like one of the only employees that didn't get one because of this weird. I was the first senior sales rep in our entire company. They made up the position for me because they wanted to promote me, but I wouldn't take a manager position. So I didn't get a commission check. And it was the first time in my life where I was like, or at this job where I was like, holy shit. Like, I was banking on that $2,000 every month. Like, wow, this job ain't like, this ain't secure, or you know what I mean? Like this ain't guaranteed. Like I can lose this shit. So I needed extra money, and I was in my head and I'm like, there's gotta be ways for me to make a little extra money. How can I do this? So I got on Craigslist and I would Google, cause I used to do this shit all the time, bud. When I was into the drugs heavy, I would sell game consoles and shit, my own. I'd be like, hey, PlayStation 3 with all the games, $200 or some shit. So I got on and I would search Nintendo DS, for sale on Craigslist. Someone would be like $80, Nintendo DS with all the games. I'd get on eBay and I'd see that they would like have like this Mario game and they'd have like this Zelda game, and those games hold their value like a motherfucker.
Yeah.
So I'm like, dude, in just the games, that's $120 if I resell it, and the console itself's worth $100. So I'd lowball the person, meet them, go pick up the shit, sell it all on eBay, and make money.
Right.
And I remember in 1 week I made $500 profit off buying and reselling games with a bunch of good hauls. And that's what kicked my entrepreneurial shit into high gear.
Yeah.
I'm like, okay. There's a way to make fucking money out here. Let's go. So then that's when I got really into the personal training thing. I'm like, okay, so I have this extra money. I'm saving. I became a frugal bastard. Every penny I spent had to be accounted for. I wouldn't buy nothing unless it was a necessity. I go to the grocery store. I would buy like if you go to Walmart, they got the cheapest fucking brands you can buy. Whichever you think the cheap brand is, there's a brand below it in a blue box, and it just says trash bags. That's it on it. Or there's macaroni and cheese. I would buy the cheapest shit that I could buy and then save this money up, paid someone to like build me a website, set up coaching plans, all this shit. And I didn't even really know, like, I knew what I was doing,
Right.
but I didn't really know what I was doing.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, I just knew, like, okay, I can make you
You had a plan. You just didn't know how to like do it.
Yeah, well, I mean, I knew that, like, you know, I don't know as much as I know now, but it was like, I know that, you know, if you start eating chicken, rice, and broccoli, and you're eating this many calories, you should see results.
Yeah,
You know what
yeah.
I mean? But it wasn't like fucking, I wasn't a scientist by any means.
Yeah.
But built the website, got it all set up, and I was like, well, let me just try running some Facebook ads. Let me see what happens. So I ran some Facebook ads about personalized training, and then, dude, I had like these clients start signing up, and I'm making like 150 for a program. And I'm like, dude. So like I'm just discovering magic or something. I'm like, I'm finding ways to make money. Holy shit. And then I was like, all right, so with this, to legitimize myself, I need to make a YouTube channel. And the first thought was like, I'm gonna make a YouTube channel just so like it makes me look a little more legit. So if someone's like, hey, like they go to my channel, they see me have some videos talking about fitness, they're gonna go, okay, I'm gonna pay this guy to be my trainer. Right? So I start making YouTube videos, man. I'm just like cranking out terrible videos. Terrible. Cranking them out. And then like I remember, dude, you get on your phone, you could refresh it, it would tell you how much money you'd made on YouTube.
Yeah.
And mine was always stuck at a penny. It was just stuck there. So I quit checking it. So I'm like, all right, yeah, this is goofy. I ain't making no money on this shit. And then like a month went by, and I went back and looked, and there was like $80 in it. I'm like, what is going on? I was getting like no views, no love. Like, what was going on?
Yeah.
I looked back, and one of my videos had like trended and had like 87,000 views or some shit. And I'm like, what? And I look, and it was a video I made like how to meal prep. And I just cooked all these meals and laid them out. I was like, this is how you do it. Terrible video. But then I was like, holy shit. Okay. I literally just.
Well, we say terrible video now, but I'm assuming back then it was probably it was probably insane.
Yeah, yeah.
Especially
Well,
if it has
blow up,
87K.
Yeah, well, I'm saying terrible video in that my camera presence is awful.
Right.
Okay.
So
I mean-
is this still on your channel?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, it is?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, I'm gonna go find it.
Yeah,
I'm
they're
gonna
way
watch
back.
it.
Dude, my first video ever, because I shot and did all my own videos back then.
Yeah.
Yeah, dude, they're fucking, they're wild. I'm so cringy. But
Oh,
'cause
same. I left all my old videos up just because I just didn't want to take them down.
Yeah,
I
dude.
You
can't
could always
watch
go back
them.
and look at them for a little laugh.
Yeah, they're
Yeah.
so bad.
See
I
how
don't.
far you come.
Yeah, I don't like to. I'm bad at watching old shit.
Yeah,
I'm just
I
like,
can't do it.
Yeah, dude, fucks with you. I'm bad about like anything, dude. If I make a video a week ago, I do not want to go back and watch it.
Yeah,
You know what I mean? But it's like, yeah, and I look back in that video, did that. So basically, I just started making like video out, like how to meal prep for the week, how to meal prep for, and I just started doing the same video in a million different ways. And then, dude, my channel started taking off, and it was like, fucking. I think it took me 10 months, but I hit 10K subs in 10 months, and for me, that was like a milestone.
right. That's
And then-
huge.
Back then it was a milestone.
Yeah, because dude, like the thing about like people don't get like back then, it was like the Wild West back then. Dude, the biggest name was Christian Guzman back then, but you had Christian Guzman, Chris Jones from like Beast Mode Jones.
I remember Chris Jones. I
Yeah,
used to
Chris
watch him.
Jones. You had hit Physiques of Greatness.
Yeah.
You had what's that cat's name? He was really big. Matt Ogus.
Yeah, Matt Ogus.
Matt Ogus was really big.
Weapons of Aesthetics.
Yeah, you had the Hodge twins before they became
Yeah,
conservative
yeah.
talking
I
pieces.
used to watch the Hodge Twins too.
Yeah.
Still do.
Yeah, and
But
then
they're different now.
Yeah, they're funny though.
Yeah, they are. They're
Yeah,
really funny.
They come to Houston Improv sometimes.
Oh, really?
Yeah,
Damn.
dude, it's dope. We're gonna have to go.
Yeah.
But yeah,
I'd
it's
definitely watch them.
But yeah, it was Wild West back then, man. And it was like, yeah, so it's so crazy now to be like, you know, like in the future and just so much, dude, so much has changed with YouTube and with fitness.
Because think about it, like back then when you were starting, like there were I would assume there was no people like us.
No.
Like James and I. And that's because I kind of wanted to ask you, like, what was your first impression with James and I when we first met, and like
Well,
when you saw our content and stuff like that.
So basically, like I would say the closest thing we had to you guys back then was Ziz, and he died.
Yeah.
Right.
So it
And
was
he
like,
wasn't making YouTube videos,
Yeah,
was
he
he?
was posting on bodybuilding forum. I thought.
he was more like he had some videos, but they weren't like his videos. They were like
He was just in them.
I think he posted videos to the bodybuilding.com forum.
yeah,
Okay.
they were just like they were like a collage. Is collage
Yeah.
the right word?
Compilation.
Compilation of him just like in different poses and shit, looking like a
Right.
beast.
Yeah.
So it was like but yeah, no, dude, I met you guys, and it's like dude, I say this to Ank all the time, but like you guys are like the future like of this shit.
Thanks, man.
Yeah,
No,
we
for real
appreciate
though.
that.
Like you guys are like the next up. I look at it like if you talk about like generations of like rap, all right, and you got like fucking, you know, let's say like Lil Wayne, Drake, and then now you got like the new cats coming up, like Lil Uzi Verts and all that, like, you know,
you got even guys under them.
Yeah,
too,
100%.
There's guys under us.
100%. Yeah, you
younger
guys
than us.
Yeah, and like the thing I love about like what you guys do is that like you're just so in a world full of fake motherfuckers, both of you guys are just so goddamn real.
Thank you.
Like so goddamn real.
We pride ourselves in that.
Yeah.
Dude, like I said earlier, when I talked to you or when I read your comment and your response was just shut the fuck up, retard. I was like, this is great.
Yeah.
And then dude, just hearing that first time we met and you're just talking about your shit, and especially on the podcast, we're talking about your like the views that you hold politically are not the social acceptable narrative norm.
Definitely not.
No. And you don't give a fuck.
Yeah, I mean, I care about it, but I'm not gonna not talk about them. I feel like I almost have an obligation to talk about them.
100%. Yeah.
Because I don't want to become another, like, I don't want to accelerate the social move towards just like you can't talk about certain things.
100%.
You know?
Yeah, and because I think conversation ultimately is what conversation is what's going to bring everybody together. And if you stifle it and certain words are off limits and everybody's getting offended, I just feel like we're in a culture right now that doesn't breed real men, and we're in a culture right now that doesn't like, dude, back in the day, the saying was sticks and stones may break my bones, but words will never hurt me.
Yeah.
And now we're talking that words are violence.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like I've been jumped. I've been fucked up.
Yeah.
Like I've been hit in the mouth. Like I know what that shit feels like. And it ain't the same as fucking being called some microaggression.
Yeah.
So it's like the fact that I feel like what you guys promote is like real masculine shit. Like we're allowed to be men.
Yeah.
We're allowed, and there's nothing wrong with that.
It's quite the opposite. If you have a society full of weak men, it's going to fall apart. And the real feminists, people like actual real feminists, not this new age stuff, understand that masculine men are vital to any civilization. Any society needs masculine men, like true masculine.
I wish I could remember that quote. It's something like this. I'm going to butcher it, but it's like hard times create strong men.
Yes.
Strong men create good time, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, it's hard times create strong men create good times create weak men create hard times.
Yes, 100%.
Like
yes, yeah. You get the gist of it. But like, I feel like where we are heading as a society, it is. I sat here and basically told you guys my life story.
Yeah.
Summed it up. So like, I've been through a lot of shit, and I look back on it. I don't regret a single thing I've been through because all of it brought you
here.
100%.
Yeah, and that's why whenever someone says like, "Oh, I wish I hadn't done this. It was such a waste of time." It's like, well, I could say that about college. I could say that about that restaurant job that I had that I hated and I felt it was sucking my soul out of my body. But if I hadn't gone to college, if I hadn't had that job that I hated, I don't see those as wastes of time, because if I hadn't done them, I wouldn't have known, like, I cannot live my life like this. I can't do this for 80 years and then fucking die.
Right.
I need more.
I mean, and that's that thing, man, is like, there's all this narrative about how like the United States is like the worst country in the world. It's all terrible, and all the people here like white supremacists and shit. And it's like, walk outside, have an interaction, dude. I mean, like, okay, so with you, give me your thoughts on this Asian hate thing.
Yeah, we talked about it. We talked about it in the last podcast, or not the last one, but a recent one. It's pretty much my point of view is I have never experienced it.
Right.
So I can't, like, I'm not going to go on my social media and be like, yo.
Right. And people were saying, because we can both admit you worded it poorly on the last podcast. You said like, oh,
I thought you worded it great.
Well, you said it hasn't happened to me, so I don't care, or something like that. But it's not really what you were trying to say. It's just like, there are so many issues in the world that, I care about them. I care about plastics in the ocean strangling sea turtles. I care about, Uyghur Muslims being kept in literal concentration camps in China. I care about the slave trade in fucking this place and that place.
Yeah, but
I care about all these things.
Now that it personally affects my race, why do I all of a sudden have to be like an activist? And almost in that, it's racist. If you expect me to...
You have to be this poster child for this issue that hasn't personally affected you.
Yeah.
But it's like, well, hold on. I mean, there's all
just
these other
it's
issues
my
in
race,
the world.
Like,
it's like, dude, and I was saying this, you really have no place to tell someone that they need to care about issue XYZ unless you literally donate money to all these other issues
Yeah.
because it's like I could just so easily turn around and say, well, don't you care about Uyghur Muslims being held in China? Don't you care about the slave trade in Cambodia or whatever? Don't you care about plastics in the ocean? Right? But the thing is, you can't assume that someone doesn't care just because they don't publicly condemn it or donate money to the cause. I'm not going to assume if I see some random person on the street, Remington, have you donated money to clean plastics out of our ocean?
I have not.
But I assume you probably don't think it's a good thing, and you probably wish that that wasn't happening, right?
Of
and you
course.
care about it.
Yeah.
Just because someone doesn't publicly talk about it or donate money to it doesn't mean that they don't give a shit about it. And there's a million issues in the world, and I just think that it is kind of racist to be like, you got to be a poster
100%.
child for something.
I told some guy, he DM'd me like all these articles. He was like, you're oblivious to think that like, oh, just because it's not happening to you, like you don't have to worry about it. And then he was like sending me these articles, and I sent him a voice message. I was like, bro, you're being kind of racist right now. You're expecting me to do this just because it's like I am Asian. So it's like if I wasn't Asian, you wouldn't be doing this, bro.
Yeah.
So like, is that not racist? Like I don't know.
But it's this virtue signaling and this armchair activism from people that fucking, and here's my whole thing, dude, about all this racist fucking narratives and all this shit about everybody's so racist. If you're white, you're a supremacist. If you're this, if you're that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm like, have you living in Houston, dude, go to Alpha Elite. At any given time, every race in the entire world is
literally,
in there.
bro. Literally, it's a whole
Yeah.
mixing pot. You got black people there, white people, Asian,
Right.
Hispanic. You got everyone. And every single person that I've talked to treats me as just a person.
100, dude.
Every black person I talk to, every white person, every Asian person, they just talk to me normally. And when I see them, the first thing that goes through my head is not, oh, this person just came up to me and they're black. Oh, this person just came up to me and they're Hispanic. I just see, oh, this guy just came up to me. Right?
100%.
That's all I see. So it's like, when you actually go out and talk to normal people, you get a very different picture of the planet than when you listen to what I know it's such an overused phrase, but the media,
100%.
you get such a different view than what the media is constantly saying, because there's a couple reasons this happens, but I think the main reason is the media is not going to report on the 99.99999% positive interactions. Media is not going to report James English walked into a gym and had a friendly conversation with a black man.
Yeah, because no one will watch.
No one's going to watch that. No one
Yeah.
cares. They're only going to report on the negative things, right? Because it gets them clicks, it gets them traffic, it gets them money at the end of the day. It's all driven by money.
Yeah.
So, and also the way that they're changing definitions, right? White supremacist used to mean you as a white person think that your race is supreme. It's better than other races. But the way that they've twisted the modern definition is you're a white supremacist if you are a white person that lives in a society that has generally benefited white people. That makes you a white supremacist. So now this is not the universal definition, but media companies that write opinion pieces can, at their whim, decide that this is their definition for this article and say, oh, Remington James is a white supremacist because, but they won't elaborate on why you are. They'll just call you that label, right? But then if you actually ask whoever wrote it, why did you call him a white supremacist? They're going to say, well, because he's white and he's grown up in this society that has generally benefited white people. So that's the case with 100 other words too, where it's like, wait, racist used to mean that you thought that your race was superior, but now racist, it's like something completely different. And it's like, so when you call someone a racist, 99% of people think that you're calling them the old definition, but you're actually calling them this new secret definition that is much broader.
Yeah,
And
honestly, when I think racist now, I think of, oh, you don't like black people. That's the
Yeah.
the number one thing that comes up to my head.
I didn't even realize
Right.
there was Asian racism.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Well, it's like, right.
It's
it
whatever
is.
the narrative. It's whatever they want the narrative
Exactly.
to be.
And I will say, if you go, I think I mentioned this on a previous podcast, if you go on Google Trends, which shows how often things are said in news articles, right? This whole kind of race baiting, racism, everyone's racist, you guys all need to worry about race, really picked up in 2011, which was at the end of Occupy Wall Street. So when people were looking at these elites and saying, oh, you guys are the ones that are fucking it up for all of us 99%ers, whether we're white, black, Asian, Hispanic, doesn't matter. You guys are the ones fucking it up for us. All of a sudden, the public narrative changed to, no, don't worry about the hedge fund owners. Don't worry about
the 1%ers.
Yeah, don't worry about them. You guys hate each other. You guys hate each other. That's what you should focus on. And 99% of people fucking took the bait and said, you know what? Yeah, you're right. We need to worry about race more than ever before, even though by every fucking metric up to that point, every metric had shown that we were becoming more racially inclusive. So it's like we were already on a good upward trend, and then it was just fucked up by this whole thing that happened with the whole narrative being twisted.
Well, like my problem is that like, I feel like if you are only on your phone all day, you think the world is this racist, terrible, violent place. People are getting gunned down in the streets. Whites just have their foot on the backs of every other race. Yeah. But it's like when you go out into the real world, like, dude, I mean, you know, coming from a white guy, this is probably not going to sound good, but it's like I don't see any forms of racism anywhere in my life right now. Like,
and the thing is, when you say that, there will be certain people that say, oh,
yeah,
that's
coming from a white male.
Yeah, that's because of your white privilege. It's like, no, I've heard that from black people too.
Yeah.
Like I hear this from multiple races. It's like when you're just a normal person that doesn't get sucked into the fear porn in news and media, and you just interact with normal people of all races, 99.9% of the time, your view is going to be, I don't see that shit. I don't see it that way. Yeah. I don't care if you're white, black, whatever. I don't see it that way. Right? So,
and yeah, you're obviously
you got to disconnect. I mean, the most just brainwashed people that I ever talk to, that I ever meet, are all the time, not all the time, but for at least a couple hours a day, they'll have their fix of just complete political propaganda.
Ugh.
And it's like, dude, turn it off. Turn off your phone, turn off your TV, or at least just don't constantly worry and read this shit, because you're just being groomed.
Literally being groomed.
Yeah, you're literally being groomed. This is exactly the whole point of it. Why do you think they write articles like this? Focus on the stuff that they don't report on. That's going to show you what their real character is. If you see all the horrible shit that happens in the world that the news chooses not to report on, that will show you their true character. And notice how the whole Capitol attack,
the
news is done talking about it. It's been like 4 days. Mm-hmm. A black person drove a car and killed a police officer in the Capitol, and he ended up getting killed. And if this was a white person, I think most people can fucking agree that if this was a white person, much less a white Trump supporter, that drove this car and killed this police officer, it would start another fucking movement.
Of course,
this would have started a movement, and it would be 24/7 on the news, on the front page. And I know this because Yahoo Mail is what I use for email, and they are super, super left wing. And anytime I open Yahoo to go to my mail, I just kind of see what all the headlines are, and I noticed the day of the Capitol attack, not only was it not on their main headlines, but I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled, and there was not a single article about the Capitol attack, because they had identified the perp as being a black person. And it was a black person that was a supporter of the Nation of Islam. So they were like, we're not fucking talking about this. This goes against our whole narrative. And they literally did not write an article about it. And it's just like, if that's all the kind of news that you ever consume is the Yahoo News type of news, you might not even fucking hear about it. Or if you do hear about it, they're going to phrase it in the most positive way possible, right? And it's just, I just see it happen so much. I don't know what to do about it.
Well, for me, man, if there's one thing that upsets me the most is the amount of people out there that like won't do any type of critical thinking or nuanced thinking at all. They read the headline, they read the story, all white people are bad, or the world's pushing down all trans people. Mm-hmm. And I'm like, I mean, dude, when when everything happened with George Floyd, which that was a tragedy, that was terrible. I was getting messages from people and comments on all my shit saying like, when are you gonna come out and like denounce your white privilege?
When are you gonna post the black square?
Yeah.
I remember getting hate for that. 70,000 followers and doesn't post a black square.
And
I'm like, you are part of a fucking cult, dude.
Yes. And I'm like, dude, like for one, all you guys pushing this have never even tried to have a friend of a different race. Like I've had multiple black friends.
Yeah.
I don't give a fuck. I talk to everybody that I can.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't even know you were Asian until you told me.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'm just like, that's Sush. Good looking fella.
And Sush's sister had her white friend tell her out of the blue, hey, if you need someone to talk to about all the stuff going on right now,
Yeah.
how fucking condescending is that?
But dude,
that is
that I feel like these like white liberals, right? It's almost racist.
they're the most racist people on the planet.
Yes.
I'll say it right now. They
Yes.
are the most racist fucking people that I've ever met because they only see race.
That's
and
it.
I don't give a fuck if that sounds bad. They are the most fucking racist people that I've ever met.
And it's like this whole thing where it's like, I feel like when those white liberals try to talk about black people or to black people or to minorities, they talk to them the same way they would a fucking dog.
Yes.
Like
they're
hey,
always on this
Yeah.
pedestal. Hey, we're here for you. I know I'll never understand your pain. Okay, I know, but I will try. It's
Yeah.
like these are human fucking beings.
like-
Talk to this person as a human being, not a fucking dog.
It's like, bruh, I think he's got it. Dude, it's that whole thing when it comes to like they're talking about like the Georgia voter laws that are going to keep like as if no person of color has a fucking ID.
Yes, exactly. They immediately come out and say that these Georgia voter laws, which the biggest thing that they're worried about is the fact that it's now requiring ID, right? You need an ID to drive a car. You need an ID to fucking book
do
tickets.
anything?
To book tickets for a plane, I think.
Oh,
you
for
need
sure.
some sort. You need identification to do basically fucking anything.
Anything worth a shit.
Anything worth shit. Yeah, you need ID to get a job, right? But you don't need ID to vote in our democratic elections.
Which sounds insane.
It does sound insane because it is fucking insane, and they don't mean it. The people that are pushing this idea that there shouldn't be
Yeah,
voter
they know
IDs,
that's
they
not
know
fucking
that's
right.
not legit. And
Just free
but let's
votes.
take a step back and think about this for a second. Why are they saying it's racist? Well, their explanation would be because black people can't get IDs as much, or they don't have the resources, or they don't know where to get them. That is just racist to assume that right
course.
off the bat. And if you do, if that is the issue, then the fix should be subsidizing easy ways to get ID. The fix should not be, oh, you just don't need IDs to vote anymore. The fix should be, let's make it easier for people of all races to get IDs, right? That should be the fix. You should need an ID to vote.
Well, you would think, all right, so the Capitol attack culminates because a lot of people didn't believe that our election was fair. You know what I mean? And,
right.
and you think as a country, we would all agree that, hey, you know what? Let's put a little more confidence into this. Let's make it to where everybody moving forward is just a little bit more confident in this process. At least showing an ID and having to put your driver's license on a mail-in ballot sounds right. What, like, when I heard that, like, okay, so now to use a mail-in ballot with this new voter ID, you'd have to have your driver's license number on the mail-in ballot.
Yeah.
When I heard that, I'm like, there wasn't at least that?
Right.
The first
Yeah.
time?
Yeah.
You could just grab that motherfucker and just start.
Just fill it
And
out.
then just
Yeah.
sign it and
Yeah.
just sign it.
I mean,
Yeah, and I mean,
Fuck does a signature even mean, bro?
real
well,
talk.
and they
Like-
they even took away signature verification, which means normally if you sign something and the signature that you sign doesn't match your signature on file, they'll send it back to you and say this signature doesn't match. They took that away, which means if you drew a squiggle on a paper and it didn't match your signature on file, they would still accept the ballot.
This is the equivalent of the Instagram giveaway post that tells you all the options to comment below to win, and they say unlimited entries. Just keep commenting the emoji. You know what I mean? It's the same thing. If you want
Yeah.
to, you can keep fucking.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? You can.
It'll
Yeah.
up your
It'll raise your chances.
Yeah, raise your chances.
That your motherfucker is going to win.
Right. So
And because the thing, dude, about Trump, the people that hated Trump.
like more than I've ever seen.
Because obviously I'm more conservative.
Yeah.
So you know, I know where my vote's cast, but it's like Joe Biden's in office, and it's like I don't hate.
I don't
Joe
hate
Biden.
him. I just think he's stupid. I don't agree with his
I feel
policies.
sorry for him.
I do. I actually do feel sorry for him. At first, I really didn't like him, and I still don't. But now it's more just like, okay, this is someone's like grandfather.
But-
He's clearly not fit for it. But it's like, I don't.
Homie needs help.
Yeah, he does.
But it isn't a blind hatred to where you are waiting on Twitter all day.
Yes.
The tweet goes out, no matter what it is, and you're just waiting to be underneath of it and to say some shit and to pop off.
Yeah. And now you see AOC, who was who faked the whole crying in front of the kids in cages under Trump,
about it,
right?
bud.
But now she says nothing about the kids in cages under Biden, as she would call it, but now they're called migrant detention centers instead of kids in cages. And then she comes out and says, "What do you mean I'm ignoring the migrant crisis at the border?" Notice how she doesn't say kids in cages. I'm not ignoring it, and then proceeds to go on this rant about how the migrants are only coming across because of white supremacy and imperialism and blah, 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 blah. And it's like, you're being too open about how fucking biased you are.
Everything is a massive contradiction, because the reason these people don't ever get on any public forums and debate people that have actual good ideas, because under scrutiny their ideas fall apart.
Yeah.
How can you sit and say the United States is the worst country in the world, it's the most racist country in the world, but yet everybody is breaking down our borders to get in here?
Right, right.
They're fleeing their countries to get here.
Remember when AOC said that it was about a certain topic, and she said that she'll debate anyone about it, and then Ben Shapiro said, let's do a televised debate. And then she came back and said, I don't need to take I don't need to
prove my
prove myself to a white privileged man like you. And it's like, listen. You just fucking said that you wanted to fucking debate.
Yeah.
And then someone comes out and offers it, and you pull the white privilege card. I mean, does anyone really take her seriously anymore?
Ben's a white Jew. I think they've been through enough.
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? I think he's got some oppression in that family tree.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Right. This is a good point. Oh,
yeah, it's
there's so much that goes into this whole topic that honestly, I think that if we did another podcast talking about this, for one, it would be good, and two, it would probably go even longer than this one.
Holy cow, we've been
And
going.
I do want to have you back on, and it seems like everything that I brought up, you already knew all about it. So I know that we're really going to click on that. So I think we should wrap this one up. I know, Sush, you got an early flight.
Yeah, I got a flight tomorrow. I'm going home to Georgia, guys.
I would do. We put in 2 hours of work, and I do.
That was a great podcast.
I feel like I talked a lot.
But that was good.
Yeah, it was good.
I mean, if we were trying to stop you, we would have
I feel like this one, we were more let guests talk.
Yeah. Well,
but also, you do have a lot to say because you're 10 years older than us.
Yeah, real talk.
Kind of an old head, huh?
Shit. Dude, I'm telling you, man, you hit 30, you start... I mean, here's the thing, though,
you look back and you're saying...
Well, dude, it's wild to think just solely because, like I was telling you guys earlier, like, I don't sit here and feel like you guys are 10 years younger than me.
Right.
Yeah.
I really don't.
Because I feel like once you get to a certain level,
it's all just kind of...
Whether you're 21 or 40, you can hold a conversation.
It's probably because we're in, like, the same industry, and it almost... When you live out on your own, and once you make that step and you're making money of yourself, it's like, kind of matures you really fast.
Yeah. So it's like, and I think just doing what I do for a living, too, I think when you're in the social media industry, it kind of keeps you young. You know what I mean? I don't have a wife. I don't have kids. I'm not bogged down in this 9 to 5, and I'm not in the corporate ladder. I'm not worried about HR, all this shit. So it's like,
you're still in the loop on when you're on Instagram and shit like that.
Yeah. And it's been, dude, this has been a fucking great time, man. And like I said earlier, like, about you guys, like what you guys are doing now, the shit you're doing inspires the fuck out of me. You guys really are like the future of this shit.
Thank you, man.
Like, real talk. Like, my only thing I would say is don't ever stop. Keep fucking going. You guys have your audience supports the fuck out of you guys. You guys make killer content. You're motivating as fuck. Your message is great, and your message is honest. You guys are who you are, and you're authentic as fuck. And I respect the hell out of that.
Thank you. Feel the same way about you.
Yeah, we even put on these collared shirts.
I aspire to have your fucking level of work ethic. I don't know where I'd be if I did, but I'd be making more than I do now.
Hey, man, it's
Yeah, we're chasing the i8. We're chasing the G-Wagon.
Well, the i8's...
Well, how about you, real quick, you just got... Or do you want a surprise?
I mean,
surprise?
I can tell him. I don't give a fuck.
Yeah, go ahead and tell him.
Well, I ordered a 2022 Lamborghini. So,
hell, man.
Yeah, I got a Huracan Evo, but it's going to take like 6 to 9 months to be built. But
hopefully he has his Model S by then, and then you guys can race.
All right. Hold up. Let me show you real quick. That's the build right there I'm going for.
Jeez.
Let's see it.
Yeah.
Fucking beautiful.
Yeah, that's the build I'm going for, except the calipers are going to be yellow. Yeah, that's
It's
the
like
interior.
a blue, like a baby blue.
Yeah.
White
It's so
interior.
nice.
Yeah, that's the goal. And it's kind of cool because like you got to order them now, but it's like I ordered it and then if it comes, let's say 9 months, because 9 months is a long time. Let's say it comes and if for some reason I'm like, I want something different or something new or cool comes out. Like if they get it, they'll just give me my deposit back and then they'll just sell it. So it's like I ordered it, but I still have time if I like, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
If I catch myself wanting a Ferrari or something,
Yeah.
I'm cool. So
Yeah.
Damn. So G-Wagon and Lamborghini. But yeah, we're chasing
hey,
your.
you're on your way, bud. From what you guys showed me today, you guys are well on your way.
Thank you, man.
And we sell out handlebars a couple more times. We're gonna have a couple G-Wagons.
Yeah. You guys can go ahead and use code MOG so we can race Rem.
There we go. We'll put money on that. All right.
All right. Well, thank you
Yeah,
for coming
let's wrap
out.
it
And
up.
thank you for fucking being that open about everything.
Hey, no problem.
Yeah, that
man.
was
This is-
that was kind of crazy. I didn't realize that we were about to get all that. But
I mean,
Yeah.
I didn't either. It just kind of started happening.
It just flowed out. Yeah, that was
Yeah.
great.
Well, yeah, if
And
you
you have perfect recollection too. I noticed that like you remembered. You didn't really say, "Oh, did this happen or did that happen?" You just fucking knew it.
Yeah,
You know?
you gave me some sort of pills before we started, and I think that helped.
Gorilla Mind Smooth.
Yeah, whatever
No
he
joke.
gave me, my brain is working.
Five pills of smooth.
But dude, I'm like
Mind's
sitting here telling you guys, and I'm like, I haven't talked or thought about this shit in years, and I'm just
Yeah.
like, I'm like laughing. I'm feeling like it's bringing memories up for me too.
Yeah, that's good.
Nah, yeah. If you guys have some time and you want to fucking me to come back, we can get into the shit we were just talking about.
100%. Yeah, definitely coming back on.
Hell yeah.
But that's gonna wrap up this one. If you guys watched to the end, comment
Rem.
Rem or comment
Let's
Kool-Aid
do it.
Jammers.
Yeah, Kool-Aid Jammers. And yeah, so thank you guys again. And we will see you guys probably next Wednesday. Actually, I don't know because I'm going freaking home. So we
Yeah,
don't
it
know.
might just be one podcast next week. We don't know yet. But thank you for watching. We'll see you in the next one.
Peace.
Peace.